All right, and we are live. Hi, I'm Mike Filsame, and welcome to the Traffic Syndicate web class. We're going to get started right away, so let's jump on in. What we see right here is what everybody wants: unlimited, unstoppable traffic. And before we get started, I want to go over some house cleaning with you. All right, let's talk about what makes this web class different than any other web class. Today, I'm going to be going over something that has revolutionized my business. I went working with my media buying agency and my company, and we went back and we looked at what helped us create successful ad campaigns compared to the ones that failed. We've codified that, and we're going to be discussing that today. I can promise you that if you're not distracted and you watch this web class without any distractions, you will have a transformation today. So I'm going to ask you to not do any multitasking, turn off Messenger, text messages, Skype, Slack, close the door to your room, and let your family know that you're going to be focusing for the next 2 hours on something very important. In fact, put every device that you have right now on Do Not Disturb. This is life transformation opportunity here. So again, close the door, tell the family, tell the staff that you're not going to be disturbed. Imagine if there's something today that could crack the code for you, yet you let distractions and social media and instant messages and who liked your last post get in the way. So if we can have your attention, if you could take my word for it, that today is going to be that transformative day, we're going to shut everything down, turn everything off. Make sure you're watching this on a laptop or a desktop. Do not watch this on an app on your phone. Head over to your computer and let's get started. All right, let's move on to the next slide. All right, here's our promise to you today. We promise that in the next 2 hours, and if you can give us 2 hours because we have a lot of training to go over for you, you're going to learn how to unlock the 12 fundamental laws of a no-fail ad campaign. That's going to skyrocket your website traffic, guaranteeing unstoppable growth. Even if you've tried traffic before and it didn't work for you, we're going to show you today. We call that slide number 9, and that slide is going to shock you. In fact, Jesse Dobeck is going to be joining me very soon to help with the training. It's going to be very exciting. So let's first talk about what happens with a web class and a webinar. Let's be upfront. You know there's probably going to be something that we have to offer you today, but we want to earn that. So if we promise to give you great content, do we have your permission to take 10 minutes to give you an invite to learn more about the Traffic Syndicate? If that sounds fair, do me a favor, type yes in the chat. I'm just going to head over here and just take a look at what some of you are saying. I'm going to put my glasses on. And let's see, they haven't come up. Now they're coming in. Oliver from Sydney says yes. Emma says go for it. Hannah Meyer from Hamburg, Germany says 100%. Michael Johnson says, we'll see. We'll make a deal. I need to see the content first. I get that, Michael. That's all good. Victoria from Bulgaria says, excited about the presentation. We'll see if we earn it. And Nora Jensen says, we can count on you to give good content. All right, we got that. So we're going to move on here. I'll take my glasses back off and let's move on with the presentation. All right. Now remember, at the end of this content part of the presentation, I'm going to ask you, did we earn the right to talk to you about the Traffic Syndicate? It's going to be very embarrassing for us. We're going to look you right in the eye and at the end and say, was this good content for you? You'll let us know. We're pretty confident because we know what's in store. And if you say yes, we will talk to you about what the Traffic Syndicate is and why we think you're going to love it. If you say no, we're just going to end the webinar. So we put all of our best efforts in here. But remember, this is all up to you, and we're not going to do it unless we give you something that you can use in your marketing today and only with your permission. All right, let's talk about a bonus free gift that we have for everyone just for sticking around until the end. I will give you an additional free bonus at the end of this webinar. You're getting 2 actually for free right after the Q&A. So number 1, you're going to be getting these slides. So that's very important. So if I'm moving too fast, don't have our producers tell me in the ear, Mike, go back. We're not going to do any of that. We have a lot to cover today. But if you stick around to the end, I'm going to give you a link where you could get these slides. But even more important than that are these GPTs. I've created 45 GPTs that we use to run our business. And what I've created here for you are my favorite 8 of these. I could easily sell these for $497. They've transformed my business. All you need is a ChatGPT Plus account. Pixar Me is a nice fun one. It'll turn you into a Pixar character. Viral Video Assistant. This is one of my favorites. You simply upload your video and then you can pull the transcriptions down from YouTube Transcript. We'll show you how to do that in the training when you download this because this is free. And then you simply start the GPT and it tells you how to title your YouTube video, what the description should be, what the keywords and tags should be, what your thumbnail should be, what the 3 words should be on your thumbnail, and how to design it. And it'll even create that image for you. Promote my podcast. You simply take your podcast, have it transcribed, upload it to this GPT, and it writes the email, the blog post, and your Facebook post to do it. You're getting Webinar Outline Wizard, the same outline wizard I used to create this webinar today. You're going to get killer email copy. It refines any email that you wrote into killer email copy and formats it. Long form copy generator is a GPT that can write 25 pages of copy, and it's actually been used to write the VSL that we're going to be using for the Traffic Syndicate. You're going to be getting that for free if you stick around to the end. And then finally, the last one, snazzy looking copy. This takes any copy that you've written from just plain text in a Google Doc, and you put it into this, and this separates it with chunking, so you don't get long paragraphs, ellipses, bold, italic, H1, H2, and it makes your copy look very readable. All of these GPTs will be given to you at the end of the webinar, right after the Q&A. But let's move on. All right, who am I and why you should listen to me? I'm Mike Filsame. I'm the CEO of Groove Digital LLC. There's some little quotes up here that you can see. I'm known as the Michael Jordan of digital marketing. I do this because it's very important that you know who's teaching you. Here are some of my accomplishments. We're not going to spend too much time on here, but again, I managed one of the largest Toyota dealerships in the United States before I had this career. My previous career, I was the general manager of the second largest Hyundai dealership in the country. As I said, CEO, co-founder of Groove.ai. We have revolutionary software with over 850,000 users. In 2009, I co-authored LaunchTree, which was the premier course on funnel marketing. I've developed revolutionary platforms such as Butterfly Marketing, Webinar Jam, EverWebinar, and Kartra. And I sold Webinar Jam, EverWebinar, and Kartra a few years back to start Groove. I've generated over $175 million online. I was the second person in 2006 to ever do $1 million launch. And I hold the record for doing more $1 million launches than any digital marketer in history. But that's because I've been doing this a long time. It's kind of like why Kareem Abdul-Jabbar has so many records. He was a great player for a long time. I've been doing this for a long time. And we have 250,000 customers worldwide. So when it comes to creating offers and traffic, I know what I'm doing. And probably you could put my face on the Mount Rushmore in digital marketing for people that create offers that sell. Once it gets to the landing page, I know how to create the offers. I know how to do the funnels, the upsells, the downsells, the order bumps, the cross sells, all of those different things, the follow-ups, those mechanics. It's probably something there's very few people, I don't want to say I know it better than anybody, but I'm comfortable to say that there's very few people that know it better than me. But when it comes to traffic, I get my media by partnering with a company called Pixel Prodigy and Jesse Dobeck, and he does my ads for me, and he's going to be coming on soon. But let's just move on a little bit more about me here. Here's Tony Robbins. He said, Mike, I just want to send you a thank you note so that you know how deeply, deeply I appreciate the fact that you took the time to give me your marketing insights. I don't take that lightly. In fact, I don't take anyone's time lightly, least of all someone with your level of caring and insight and marketing genius. Now, that's Tony Robbins. We don't have to say anything more about him, but I did have the opportunity to go down with a handful of other legendary digital marketers and help Tony transition in 2009 from the world of infomercials into digital marketing. Now he's doing great stuff with Dean Graziosi, very close with Russell Brunson. But myself and Jeff Walker and Frank Kern and Mike Koenigs and Andy Jenkins and a few of us were there in the early days. And I remember Tony saying to me, but what is Twitter? Do I really need to tell somebody every time I take a bite of an apple? And so we helped him do a launch. And his first interview series was Us Marketing Gurus back, I think, in 2009. And over here, we see a little story about me, okay? So things weren't always easy for me, all right? Back in the day, this is a little comic book slide of me working in the car dealership late at night. I was working 70 hours a week. Could you believe that? I was working 28 days a month, and it was a grind. It was very, very difficult. I don't want to talk about what people have today, but I can only imagine it's very difficult. And if you see here, more in this comic book, this was the struggle at the kitchen table with me and my wife. We would look every single day, and as they say, there was never enough month at the end of the money. We would run out of money and still have another 11 days left in the month of bills. I remember what it was like when I had a car payment that was due, and I also had an insurance that was due. And either I let the insurance lapse, such a nightmare. You got to turn the plates in. There's almost like a tax on poor people, that all of these penalties and fines that you pay that I haven't experienced in a long time. When I look back at these times, it was very difficult. And if I paid the car payment, well, then the insurance didn't get paid. If I paid the insurance, I might get the car repoed. And I've actually had people show up at my door and take vehicles away from me back in my past. I've had eviction notices. I had to borrow money from my parents. I was bankrupt I don't remember when it was. It was in the 90s. It was a long, long time ago. But the car business, I made decent money, but I struggled. And this was the scene every single night. And I have to tell you, it puts a lot of stress on a relationship and a lot of stress on a marriage. I'm not saying that money buys you happiness, but if you have success and money, it's one less thing that you can worry about. But I know that financial stress is the killer of marriages, and it destroys father and son or parent, mother and daughter, or mother and son relationships. It just gets in the way. It's a terrible thing. Lucky for me, I stumbled onto online marketing in 2002, and I started learning funnels, conversion, and traffic. And this little comic slide represents me staying up late at night until 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning, sometimes no sleep because I had to shower and head back to open up the car dealership at 8:30. But I did that until I had my eureka moment. I remember what it was like when I cracked the code, when I finally figured out how to create high converting funnels that work for traffic and how to get the traffic to make my ad campaigns work. And that's why today I want to talk to you about the secret to my success, the secret that runs my entire company. It is the standard operating procedures for my company on once we get our funnel up and running, how we do our media buying. Now, this is something I've shared with just a few people in my mastermind, and today we're going to be sharing it with you for free. Now, understand, each one of these fundamental laws in itself could be an hour or a 3-hour training. We're going to give you the fundamentals of all of these so that you grasp the concept and see how you can make advertising work for you. So, when we go on, I want to show you my ad campaign results that we had. We started doing this just this year, implementing some of these things. And as you can see, we've had an 85% increase in sales and signups with a media spend of $10,000 per day. What I want to do for you is let you know I've blown up my legs on the landmines. I've learned the hard ways. I've codified this stuff with over 22 years online of digital marketing. But now I want you to cheat so that you can learn only the good stuff without the years and experience that I had to endure to learn this. I want to give you the cheat code for this. So let's talk about why most people are failing. The first thing you've got to realize, it's not you. This is not your fault if you've tried traffic that didn't work. All right? The odds are stacked against you. Most people haven't taught you the proper way to understand before you buy traffic, you need to have a funnel that's ready to convert. I think the biggest sin that we can do in marketing is actually send traffic to something that's not ready to accept it. And that's why so many of us say, I tried LinkedIn, it didn't work. I tried to start a YouTube channel, it didn't work. I tried SEO, it didn't work. I tried pay-per-click, I tried YouTube ads. I spent $100 on Facebook ads, it didn't work. I'll usually say to that person, you gave Facebook $100 and they didn't give you any traffic? And they'll say, oh no, they sent me traffic. Oh, so we don't have a traffic problem. We have a conversion problem. But once we get the conversion down, it doesn't mean that as soon as we go get the traffic, it's going to convert. That's where the 12 fundamental laws come in. And I know that when we get that to you, you're going to have a transformative breakthrough. Remember, I was once just like you until I learned these 12 fundamental laws. So I know what this is like. I've experienced this. I remember when I was broke. And I remember when I finally started making enough money, I was actually had more money at the end of the month. And then that translated to paying down bills. And I remember feeling weird. Do I really want to send $2,000 to a credit card? And then I got addicted to it and I paid off all of my balances. And then I started looking for things. There's more money in the bank. What can I pay? And I became debt free. What happened after I was debt free? I went out and I bought a Mazda 6 cash, $27,000. And I remember them telling me in the car dealership, you don't want to pay cash. And I'm like, I know, it's a terrible thing to do. I'm in the car business. But the idea of being debt free got addictive for me. And to be able to buy that car cash and now start having money in the bank. And I saw my business grow. I was able to travel all over the world. So can you imagine what life will be like to not have never-ending debt and bills? Just wiping that out, being able to have a good relationship, not having to look at your stats and know that you've got a passion for your industry, but you have little to no sales. You have low conversions. Can you imagine what an evergreen, profitable, high-converting traffic would do for your business? That's the key. Of course you're going to create a good product. Of course you're in a good niche. Do me a favor. Tell me what business you're in right now, and also tell me what forms of traffic you're using in your business. So you could give me either one. Let's start with what forms of traffic you're using, and you could also type in what business you're in. I'm going to head over to my computer and just put my glasses on and take a look and read out some of these here. All right, so nothing come in yet. Maybe there's a delay. All right. Oh, here we go. So John from New York says he's doing SEO. Emily she tries Facebook pages. The couple of questions I got to go through here. We'll get to all the questions later. Lucas is using Google AdWords. Way to go. I'm looking here. Some of you are saying not doing anything for traffic. Ava has a YouTube channel. Isabel Martinez from Houston, LinkedIn networking. I wonder if that's free or paid. If you could let us know in the chat there. Ethan Taylor, San Francisco, Instagram influencer and collaborations. Would love to learn more from you. Email marketing, Ava from Miami. Ava from Miami, very good. We do that in our company as well. And let me scroll down a little bit more here, see what you guys are saying. Emily is a wellness coach who specializes in holistic health practices. Keep typing them in. We like to look at this later. It helps us for our data. Lucas is in the tech industry. Sophia typed in that she is an author and speaker in the field of personal development with a focus on achieving a work-life balance. Way to go. Alexander from Moscow is a public speaker. Interesting. Ava from Miami says she's an author in health and wellness. And one more here. Zoe from Brisbane, Australia is a speaker in the field of digital marketing with a focus on content creation. Very, very good. Gabriella Rossi from Italy is a personal development coach. All right, so you guys are doing Lots of different traffic methods for lots of different businesses. So the reason I think you're on here is because you want more traffic and you want that traffic to convert. And so that's what we want to go over with you today. So do me a favor. Do you want to know the 12 fundamental laws? If so, do me a favor, put a yes in the chat. Type yes in the chat. I want to make sure you guys are energized and really, really ready to make a change in your current state and life for you and your business and your family. I'm going to go over and just see what you guys are saying here. I need you to get me and Jesse Dobeck energized. Let's see what you guys are saying. So Liam says, heck yeah. Isabella says 100%. Charlotte asking a question. Mia Brown, very excited. Daniel Garcia from Madrid, Spain says, yes, let's do this. And then Benjamin says, yes, that's what I'm here. Let's get to the training already. Hey, I get it. Lots of yeses. Hell yeah. Heck yeah. We're going. We're excited to get started. So let's move on to the next part of the presentation here. What we're going to do, we have Jesse coming in just a moment. I'm going to walk over to the podcast desk and I'm going to get set up with Jesse in just a moment. So in about 15 seconds, I'm going to bring him onto this webinar and he's going to go over these 12 fundamental laws of a no-fail ad campaign. And this is where you want to get ready and start taking notes. I've got to get this off and get my headset in. So I'm going to walk over here and we're going to get that set up for you right now. And let me take this headset off, this microphone, because we're going to be using this one here. And you guys should be able to hear me loud and clear. Hey, look at that. We've got Jesse Dobeck and Peter Deli and Jacob Bowe. And so, folks, we know you just typed in the chat. You're excited to learn the 12 fundamental laws. What you're seeing right now is Jesse's screen. Obviously, you could learn Jesse's entire story also at thetrafficsyndicate.com. His thumbnail is up there. I believe it's the third one. And you could learn all about Jesse's backstory. I recommend you do that. He's going to tell you today why he's an expert and why you should be listening to him. And of course, Jacob and Peter, you've already learned they're gangsters in this industry. So we're going to jump right into Jesse's slides. Jesse, the show is yours.
Thanks so much, Mike. And I'm so humbled and honored to be here. Honestly, Mike was one of my idols when I first started. I don't know if you guys watched my case study video. If not, let me just tell you a little bit about my story. Okay, I started humbly, $120,000 in debt, living with my dad after my basketball career ended. I didn't become the next Michael Jordan. So I needed to figure something out. Read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, started doing network marketing, failed miserably, got discouraged, went online and discovered online marketing, discovered people like Russell Brunson, Mike Phil Same, Mike Dillard, Evan Pagan. I said, look, I got to get in on this. I got to learn this. And I made a career out of online marketing. I started learning. The first thing I started to do was build websites. And then I realized from my clients that they needed traffic to their websites to have success. So I started learning from Traffic and Conversion Summit how to do SEO, how to do Facebook marketing. And then I cracked the code on Facebook, building fan pages. And I landed Brendan Burchard as a client. He called us up. He's like, how are y'all guys getting so much traffic to my buddy's Facebook page and his website and for so cheap? This is crazy. I don't know. How are you guys doing this? So we showed him within 24 hours. He sent me and my business partner 25K just for a test budget and then started sending us hundreds of thousands of dollars because he wanted to get to 1 million followers. We did that in 3 months. He also went on Joe Polish's stage saying he did $25 million on Facebook ads this year. And a lot of what he was doing was with us. So we started working with Brendan. Then I spoke at his event and he said, they get better results on Facebook ads than anyone I know. They've helped me buy and manage Facebook pages, get awesome click and like prices and optimize long running ads in ways no one else can. I love these guys. You'll learn a ton from them. And Brendan also, when he introed me, if you watch the video that's there, you can't play it right now, but if you did play it, he said, I wanted to have their baby. They got such good results. And also, I thought the feds were going to bust through my window because you're running Facebook ads and you're making money with them. So we helped Brendan do some amazing things with Facebook pages and going super viral. We got his post reach up to 200 million a week for an extended period of time. It averaged like 25 million a week. And we were retargeting with ads. We were getting people through his funnels, buying his books, getting them to buy courses, getting them to the events, getting them into the high ticket offers. Super exciting. So we saw Brendan transform. get on the Larry King show. He started working with Oprah. I remember when Oprah called him up and said, hey kid, what are you doing? Because you're helping some of my friends and can you help me? So that was really, really exciting. Then he was on the cover of Success Magazine. Well, that's all well and good, but we're here for you guys right now. So if you're excited, put a yes in the chat. We're going to show you how to transform your business using Meta, using Facebook ads, and the 12 fundamental laws of a no-fail ad campaign. So if you're excited, put a yes in the chat and let's dive in. Now, law number 9 is absolutely going to shock you. Your hair is going to be sticking to your ceiling. I guarantee you that, because this is something that you don't expect, but it's the realistic truth. It's what we're going to show you here is going to take you to the next level on steroids. Fundamental law number 1, clearly define your objectives. Choose your channels. Fundamental law number 2, know your target audience. Fundamental law number 3, embrace AI tools. Fundamental law number 4, write effective ad copy. Fundamental law number 5, create compelling ad creatives. Fundamental law number 6, set up pixels and tracking. Fundamental law number 7, optimize for mobile. Fundamental law number 8, set a realistic budget and publish your ad. Fundamental law number 9, we'll leave that a mystery for now. Fundamental law number 10, monitor and analyze metrics. Fundamental law number 11, use A/B testing. Fundamental law number 12, adapt and optimize. So these are the 12 fundamental laws. I'm going to go ahead and dive in here. Fundamental law number 1 for creating a no-fail ad campaign is clearly defining your objectives and choosing your channels. So first off, you want to understand, are you trying to get leads? And we like to generate leads for high ticket offers. Okay, if you're selling a low ticket offer, we like the objective to be for purchases. So you got to decide, do I want to go after getting sales on the platform? In this case, we're going to focus on Meta. Okay. I know there's choices out there. Where do I want to go? Choose your channel. YouTube, Google, Meta. So Facebook and Instagram, Meta, TikTok, LinkedIn, Twitter, or any other like programmatic or any other like, network where you can put your ads on like a dating site or some, website. So there's all different types of ads. So you got to choose your channel, what makes the most sense for you. Now, usually we always start with our clients working on Meta, because that has the most reach, the most people hanging out, gives us the most data, bang for the buck. So for this case, when you're starting out, we're going to choose your channel for you. You're going to pick Meta because everybody's there anyway. There's plenty of market there for you. And you have 2 choices in how we like to do it with our clients. Either leads, you're optimizing and your objective is going to be for leads, or sales. So you're going to pick leads. It's real simple. If you have a high ticket offer over $5,000, we're going to recommend that you have them you drive ads to an application to fill out a form so you can call them up and sell them something over the phone. So you're going to optimize for leads, and your objective is going to be leads. Now, if you're selling a book or a course or live event tickets or something that is like under $2,000, you're probably going to optimize for purchases. I mean, if you're selling tractors, maybe you can generate leads, for solar, it's leads for, different like loans or, there's different types of businesses. But if you're selling a low ticket item, like under $100 for sure, you're optimizing for purchases. And if it's high ticket and it's really expensive, you're going to optimize for leads. Now, where you're going to drive traffic is either probably to a website or some kind of funnel, landing page series, or some way that you're going to figure out what these people, what's happening once they interact with you, right? Meaning they're on Facebook. I mean, you can have them fill out a lead form on Facebook, or you can have them go to an app or Instagram, or even go to WhatsApp to do a chat and generate leads. I've seen real estate companies do that where, hey, are you looking for a place to live? Well, go to they send you to WhatsApp and now they're chatting with you there. But for most cases, like 90% of our clients, we drive them off of the platform into our network where we can track them throughout the whole process. We get the most data. So you're probably going to select website. So for this case, I'm going to select it for you. You're going to pick website. Hopefully you have a funnel. One thing that I want to say too, we're not going to talk about your funnel that much or your offer. We're hoping that you have an offer that you've already tested with traffic offline or referrals, or you have some clients. So your offer is good. You have to have so you don't have a good offer. Your offer is great. If you're going to go towards ads, you got to test, make sure that your offer is great. Okay. If you don't know if your offer is great and you want to test it with ads, okay, we're going to show you how to set a low cost budget so we can, get you some data so you can start working on your offer, right? So figure out your offer, your funnel, and now we're going to show you how to get clicks. And running paid traffic and these fundamental laws of a no-fail ad campaign, running ads online for paid traffic is the holy grail of how to get traffic to your business. Okay. So you master this, you're to the next level. So step number 1, pick the objective, whether it's leads or purchases. And then number 2, you're going to drive traffic to a website. All right. So let me give you an example here. One of our clients, Chris Crone, we started off with an ad going to an opt-in page, to a video sales letter, and then to an application. So there's 4 steps in the process. Now, whenever they hit each step, you're going to have a drop off of like 20 to 50%. Even if your process is good, because there's so many steps, people are going to get discouraged and leave. And that's what we saw. When we did this process, we were generating leads for over $2,000 per lead. And these are leads to sell a $10,000 to $35,000 offer. So we were just below break even. We weren't quite breaking even with step number 1. That was our first take on this, where we had all the steps. And then we got warmer in the process and we started running an ad that was more like selling the VSL. So we're sending them to a video sales letter. VSL means video sales letter. So, and that's just a video with a sales pitch that gets them really excited about filling out the application. So instead of sending them to the opt-in page, the video sales letter, and then the application, we created the ad a little bit different. So it was like selling the VSL with the ad. Now they're going to the video sales letter and then they're clicking to go to the application. We're a little warmer, right? But now we're hot because now we really figured it out. We started running the ad as the video sales letter. So an 11-minute ad instead of a 30-second or minute ad or 2-minute ad, we're sending them to an 11-minute and 30-second ad that was a mini version of the VSL that just sent them straight to the application. Man, our conversions went through the roof. 3 to 4x return on ad spend. And we started generating like hundreds of leads, and we were spending $100 per lead, $150 per lead on average now. We're like really fine tuning it and like getting it down, but we cut out those steps, like these steps right here. We cut out like the extra steps, the 2 extra steps, and send them from the ad straight to the application. So if you're doing leads and you're doing high ticket and you're optimizing for leads, you can make the video sales letter your ad. And we're going to show you how, like all the components to break down like all the tools that you need and how to create an ad with AI, like a really compelling VSL or ad like this with just using AI. And it's going to be like 60% of the ad or, the VSL you can create with AI, and 40% is going to be you doing stuff, right? So Jacob's going to show that. He's going to blow your mind with that. We're really excited about that. So this was our winning combination, and we're still drilling that down and optimizing that down. And we'll show you some other tools that we use to make it even more effective. All right. So we're going to bring out Jacob now and talk about his understanding of the meta ad auction, because he worked literally inside of Facebook for 3 years. He worked with the people that built the ad algorithm. He worked on some of their top clients. They like cherry picked him as like the top video producer and editor for ads, showed him how to run the platform. He became a master. So he's going to come out here and blow your mind in just a second. Jacob, are you there?
Yeah. What's up, Jesse?
All right. And I'm just going to control the slides because there's only 3 of them. So that way we can just kind of go through it. So is there anything you want to say before we dive in?
Yeah, I would say that one of the most important things that I learned while working at Facebook was how to understand the ad auction and the ad algorithm formula. Because once you understand how Facebook works internally with how they prioritize you in the ad auction, you can build out creative ads that are rigged to win the auction at the lowest price points possible. And that's what we want to train you guys on, so you can understand. Once you have this knowledge in your head, you can then go out and build creatives and write your copy in order to kind of game the system. And that's the game that we want to play. And that's what we want to show you how to do. Okay, so Jesse brings up this slide right here. And one of the most important things that I learned while working at Facebook, and this is back in 2015 to 2018, was that every single advertiser that wants to show their ad on the platform, they enter into an actual auction where they're bidding against their competitors for the right to show their ad to to the user on the other side of the screen, right? So this is kind of, more common knowledge now. There's been some documentaries that came out about this, but back when I was working there, nobody really knew how it actually worked. And so I sat down with the engineers who built out the algorithm, and they would write out the formulas for me, basically like on the back of a napkin. We'd sit down at lunch, and they would show me how the formulas actually work and teach me about how the auction actually worked, so that I could go and make better ad creatives for Facebook's partner brands. So I was on the creative workshop team, and I would work with all the Fortune 500 companies, creating the ads for companies like Uber or Pottery Barn or Cheetos or United Airlines, QuickBooks, right? I would have to figure out how to create ads that are going to crush it on the platform. And the way to do that was learning how the auction worked and learning how the ad algorithm actually worked. So Jesse, if you want to flip to the next slide, we're going to get into this, which is the total value formula. And so this was kind of the core of what I learned at Facebook. And what they were showing me was that it is unlike a traditional auction where you have an advertiser bid. Because think about it, in a traditional auction, your bid that's what's going to allow you to win the auction. So if you're, bidding for whatever, a Lamborghini, let's say, and, you're going to raise your paddle, and whoever outbids you, that's who's going to win the auction. But with Meta, they level the playing field. So this is what allows companies like, Casper mattresses to beat out the legacy brands. This is what allows companies like Tom's Shoes to beat out Nike on the platform, because they're not just saying, okay, whoever spends the most money wins the right to show your ads. They're really looking at it with this formula right here. And what's important to know is that Facebook and Instagram, Meta, they prioritize a positive user experience for the users over you winning in advertising. And they do that strategically because they know that if you are a user on their platform and you're always getting ads that are not relevant to you, then you're going to leave the platform, and then they're not going to be able to monetize their advertising because nobody's going to be there. So their main priority is a positive user experience for their users. So this is why this formula was built out, because they want to make sure that you're not just spending the most money to show your ads. They want to make sure that you're providing value on the platform. And one of the best things that we learned was something called estimated action rates. Okay. So the formula is this right here, which is advertiser bid times estimated action rates plus user value equals your total value score. Now that total value score is your end score. That's your number that you're going into the ad auction with. And whoever has the highest total value score, whatever, business or advertiser has that highest total value score, they're going to win the right to show their ad to the guy on the other side of the screen, right? So how do we get that total value score up? So it's unlike the traditional auction where you just spend more. You've got to focus on these two other factors like estimated action rates and user value. So let me just highlight real quick what estimated action rates is. This is very important. It is Facebook, Meta is looking at how well you performed in the past on your ad campaigns, and then they're going to make a predictive guess on how well you're likely to perform in future ad campaigns. Okay, so it's kind of a snowball effect, and you can get it wrong, and then it's detrimental to you. So basically, if you're running ads that are irrelevant, your targeting is off, your ad creatives do not drive conversions, then your estimated action rates are going to go way down. But if you play the game Facebook wants you to play and you're running ads that are getting high conversions, your targeting is spot on, people are interacting with your ads and they're liking them, then your estimated action rate is going to go way up because you're going to be getting more conversions. And that's the whole thing about estimated action rates. They base it off the conversions that you're getting. Okay. So you want to focus on maximizing your conversions, especially when you're first starting out. Because if you can maximize your conversions on your first ad campaign, well, then Facebook's going to reward you. Meta is going to reward you in the ad auction and say, well, you performed well in the past. So we are going to allow you to perform well predictively in the future. We're going to make a guess that you are positive, are contributing positively onto the platform. So we're going to lower the advertiser bid that you have to spend in order to win the ad auction. And then the second thing that we want to focus on is user value. So you want to always be providing positive user value on the platform. And you can do this with your creatives. You can do this with your offer. You could do this, with your copy. You just want to make sure that you're not like think of it this way. If you are selling, let's say, bald head cream, Right? I don't know why I thought of that. But if you're selling bald cream to people who have hair, well, they're not going to have a very good user experience, right? That's not going to be relevant to them. Or vice versa. If you're selling shampoo to people who are bald, then they're not really going to like that. And then your user value is going to go down because you didn't get that right. Right? And so nobody's going to take action on that ad. So one, your user value goes down. And two, nobody takes action. So what happens is those scores lower. So what happens is you're going to have to increase the spend to up your total value score in order for you to win the ad auction, right? So we want to reverse that. And that's where we come in and start focusing on estimated action rates and user value. So we raise those scores so we can lower the amount you have to spend. And that's how you win at Facebook advertising. That's how you win at Instagram advertising. So I don't know how deep in the weeds we want to get on that, but this is just an overview of how the total value formula works and how it works with the ad auction.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can see how Jacob is a master at understanding the ad algorithm. So we're just going to keep moving forward. Fundamental law number 2 for a no-fail ad campaign is know your target audience. Now, number 1 thing to consider is what age are they? Now, I know you probably want to like draw out your avatar so you know what they look like and how old are they? What's their gender? Are they predominantly male or female? What languages do they speak? What language do they speak? Location, education level, their financial status. Who do they follow? What influencers do they follow? What influences their decisions? What's their interests? Now we're going to dig really deep into target audience and like how to really target and like how it all works. But these are kind of the things that you should do the research on. Figure out like who your target audience is, draw them out, figure out, and any other things that I'm missing. I mean, these are some of the bigger ones. There's plenty of things, demographics that make your avatar, your audience unique. You need to really understand your audience before you start marketing. That way your copy, your funnels, your offer is going to those people. Now I'm going to tell you with Facebook and Meta, they have changed how the platform is, and it's just going to keep evolving because of AI. And that's why fundamental law number 3 that we're about to get into is going to be about embracing AI, because AI is now taking over our lives and making things easier, some things harder, but it's allowing us to automate certain things, and we got to understand how it works. So when Meta is producing AI in their platform and they're putting it out there, and you're using the tools, and you have to select audiences and what age, and you have to set your targeting yourself. Like now you have to kind of set your targeting, but starting like the end of this month, I don't know when you're watching this, but it's moving so quickly, technology, that you're not even going to be able to pick an audience pretty soon. Pick your interests, pick your ages. Meta is just going to do that for you. Why? Because they know whatever copy you put in, whatever the ad creatives, and they're analyzing that and transcribing it, they know who should be getting that particular information. So whatever your ad creative is, they're going to pull that data, and you're going to not need to know your target audience for ads. Right now, it's like lookalike audience, age, gender, location, that kind of stuff. But they took out interest. You can't like target people based on interest, based on who they follow, or like certain influencer brand names. So it's only going to evolve into more targeting based off of your lookalike audience or your email list or just the data that you have access to. And then the rest of it, they're going to pull with AI tools, your ad creatives and your copy and all that stuff. So you don't even need to worry about target audience analytics for ads themselves, but you need to do that research for your funnel and your offer. So that's why I left this in here. And, as AI keeps evolving, you'll need to do less of this inside the platform, but you need to do it for your business. Okay. All right. So pro tip. So I'm going to bring Jacob on. He's going to talk about this right now and avoid auction and audience overlap and understanding how to exclude these certain audiences so you don't just waste money. So Jacob, are you there?
Yeah, Jesse, let's dive in on some of these core principles that you have to master when advertising on Meta. And one of the best things that you can do to optimize your ad account is to focus on what's called ad auction overlap. Okay. So a lot of people get this wrong. And this is one of the first things that we do in our agency when we come and start working with the client. We'll go in and do a historical audit on how well the ad account is performing. And then we'll look for areas of opportunity, the low-hanging fruit that we could tackle first to optimize the account and then cut their customer acquisition costs. And that's exactly what we did with this client right here. This is actually, can I say who it is?
Sure.
It's Grant Cardone. There was something that I pinpointed right off the bat when I was on just basically a sales call with them looking at their ad account. And what I noticed was that the way that they had their ad account structured, it was set up to have massive amounts of ad auction overlap. And what that is, what I was telling Grant and his team, I was saying, hey, just by looking at your ad account here, what I see is that you are bidding against yourself in the ad auction multiple times over. And so I told them that, I shared this screen right here. And I said, now remember, you are entering an auction every time you want to advertise on Facebook. So these are all your competitors that are bidding against you to win the right to show their ad to this guy here. And I said, now imagine, Grant, you are bidding for that yacht, right? And you raise your paddle at, $1 million. And then you have got Grant also back here raising his paddle for $2 million. But then there's a third Grant in the back and he raises his paddle for $3 million. Okay. So let's say you do this. And I pointed this out and I said, it looks like you're doing this 25 times over. So you've got 25 Grant Cardones in the same room bidding for the same yacht, costing you, 75% more to win that auction than it should be. Okay. So they were wondering, like, how am I seeing this? Like, what am I looking at? And I didn't just outright say exactly what it was, but I said, we can work with you and I can cut your customer acquisition costs in half within less than a week. Now, what we ended up doing with him was we cut his customer acquisition costs by 75% within 5 days of working with him. And the way that we did that was we focused on ad auction overlap. Okay. So sure enough, once I dove in and they signed up with us and they said, okay, you guys seem to know what you're doing. Let's see what we can do together. So as soon as we dove into their ad account, sure enough, I knew this was going to be the case. I actually know it was going to be this high, but we ran the reports on their ad auction overlap and we found out that their overlap was around 65%. And so you want your ad auction overlap, even with retargeting campaigns included, you want that around 2 to 3%. The fact that his ad auction overlap was around 65% told me right off the bat, you're spending millions of dollars to Mark Zuckerberg instead of going into your bank account. Okay. And the reason that he was doing that was that he had all of his ad sets set up with the exact same creative, but they're targeting very similar audiences. Okay. And he's doing that 25 times over. And so think about it. If you have the same ad creatives that are targeting small businesses as the same ad creatives down here in another ad set that is targeting entrepreneurs, well, like a Venn diagram, think how much auction overlap that's going to be. Small business owners are the same people as entrepreneurs, right? So he's spending money to target these people and he's bidding against himself in the ad auction to also target basically the same people. And then when you spread that out 25 times over, you're spending millions of dollars, in his case, to Mark Zuckerberg instead of to your own bank account. So one of the first things that we did was focus on this ad auction overlap. And we came in and we said, we need to simplify your ad account structure so you're not competing against yourself. Okay. So this works in two ways. One, you're not going to compete against yourself by advertising to the same people and bid against yourself. And two, by combining these similar ad sets, you're putting more money into one ad set instead of spreading thin over 25 ad sets, which allows you to double, triple, quadruple down on a winning ad set and put more firepower, more money behind that winning ad set and let the machine learning learn 25 times faster, pulling in more data into one ad set instead of spreading thin over 25 ad sets. So you're learning much faster. You're training the algorithm much faster and you're no longer competing against yourself in the ad auction. And we came in and by this one simple move, we cut his customer acquisition cost by 75% in 5 days of working with him. The second thing that we did to do this, it wasn't just ad auction overlap. It was also something that we focused on called first time impression ratio. So the way that Grant Cardone was out there advertising, he is running a lot of broad targeting to cold prospects, right? So he's prospecting, trying to find new people. But what we learned by running the numbers, and this was a little more of a deep dive on this, by running the numbers and comparing his ad spend to his first time impression ratios, he's not running broad cold prospecting campaigns. He's spending the most money, to what are effectively acting as retargeting campaigns. So he's using broad messaging to people who have seen his ads and are completely burnt out on his ads. So he's not finding new people and bringing them into his business. He's basically just spamming the same people over and over again because he's got these numbers wrong. And so this was one of the first things we did. We highlighted in red where all the main problem areas are. And the biggest spender was this one for his 10X live event, spent, in this time period, over 250,000, and his first time impression ratio was around 32%. This should be around maybe 2%. His biggest spender was for this 10X live event campaign that we were running, and he was spending over $250,000. He's spending over $250,000 on this campaign, thinking that he's going broad and prospecting to new clients. Well, he's not. He's actually just spending that for a retargeting campaign because his first time impression ratio is so high. So really, he should be around 2% on this broad prospecting campaign, but he's around 32%, which shows us that this is effectively a retargeting campaign. And that messaging for a retargeting campaign should be completely different than a cold audience for a broad prospecting campaign. So we went through and found out, where are all the trouble areas? We highlighted them in red and said, these are the spots that you're burning money. This is where we can optimize and improve. And you can see these got so many different campaigns running at one time. So between dialing in his first time impression ratio and simplifying his ad account structure and eliminating that ad auction overlap, those two things right there can save a client millions of dollars. Or if you're not spending as much as Cardone, it could save you hundreds of thousands of dollars, or it can even save you $10,000. And this is how you're going to win at meta advertising, is when you dial these principles in and get it right from the start.
Awesome. So Jacob, can you talk a little bit about these exclusions? So you set your audience, you figure out who you're going to market to, and then you click on this exclude audience tab, and then you start popping these things in. How does that work?
Yeah. So exclusions are the way to combat that first time impression ratio, because you want to keep that low, especially for a broad prospecting campaign. So if you're trying to hit a new cold audience with your message to bring new people into your business, into your ecosystem, then you want to make sure that you're putting the proper exclusions in place. So you're not just spamming the same people over and over and over. Like one example is, if you want to launch a prospecting campaign, then Meta gives you the ability to go in and exclude certain audiences. So what we would do with somebody like Grant, we would come in and he didn't have these exclusions in place, which is why the first time impression ratios were so high. So what we did was we came in and said, okay, by running this ad campaign to small business owners, right? Well, a lot of those small business owners have already consumed your content. They've already been on your landing page. They've already maybe even made a purchase from you. So why send that message to people who have already made that purchase, right? You're just spamming them at that point and you're wasting your money. So what we wanted to do was we came in and we set these exclusions in place and we excluded his buyers from that broad prospecting campaign. Right there, we're dropping down that first time impression ratio. And then we took it a step further and said, okay, since this is broad and we're finding new people, let's also exclude all the website visitor views that have come through. So we set that as an exclusion as well. Now our audience size has gone down, but we're targeting a more cold audience who has not consumed Grant Cardone's content as of yet. And therefore the messaging that we're sending them is more relevant, and we're not spamming them and we're not burning them out because we set those exclusions in place.
So I'm going to move along now to law number 3, embracing the AI tools. So now I'm going to bring Jacob out to show the basic overview of his complete AI system for creating ads. And this is going to be like mind blowing. So make sure you're paying close attention and following along here. So Jacob, do you want to share screen now and kind of show them how this works?
Okay, so what I want to show you is how you can easily leverage AI to build out winning ad creatives and crush it on Meta platforms for your business. So let me just tell you this quick little story about this client that we onboarded called Tiny Boat Nation. Now, our agency specializes in technology, so I don't really know about the boating industry or anything like that. But this was a friend of a friend who came through, and they really wanted us to help them out. So I had to learn quick on how to build out ad creatives that would win on the Meta platform. So I turned to AI to do this. And it's just the easiest way that you can build out winning creatives. So what I did is I go to the website of my new client, right? And then what I like to do is go and find their YouTube. Okay. So first thing is I'll go to their YouTube. and I will learn about, usually a client will have an explainer video about their product, right? And we've done this for blockchain companies, lots of tech SaaS companies out there that have complex products, right? But even like a boating commercial ad, or these people help you build like your dream boat in your garage, basically. So what I want to do is find out where's the best explainer video that explains their product. And let's just say it's this one right here. Okay. So I'm going to take this video URL and let's see. Let me just grab the URL. That's not it. Okay, let me just go ahead and grab a video. So I want to go in and I want to find like, where is their explainer video that explains what the product is? Okay, so let's just say it's this one. Okay, so you're going to grab this URL from YouTube, and then I'm just going to go take it into ChatGPT. Okay, so let me just type in ChatGPT. I'm sure most people know what this is by now. What you need is ChatGPT 4. And it's like $20 a month. And what you really want is to have the plugin installed called Vox Script. So in a further training, I teach you how to like set this all up. But in a nutshell, you need this thing called Vox Script. And once you have that in place, you can allow ChatGPT to read this YouTube video and spit out all the information about this client and give you your detailed video script that you can then use AI to create. So let me just say, learn this, okay? And then I might prompt it a little better, but for sake of time, I'm just going to have ChatGPT start using Vox Script, and it's going to go through, it's going to grind through the whole thing, and it's going to kick out everything that that this client provides, what their value propositions are, how it works, right? It's going to learn everything that it needs to know to give you the ability to write winning ad creatives out of that, okay? So let's say, it's going to grind through. It takes a little bit of time, but once it grinds through, and it does everything there, we're going to go ahead and use the information that it just learned. And then let me just go through here and I'll show you the script that I pulled up from it. So it's going to learn everything about that. And then basically what I say is, okay, it kicks out all this information. And I tell ChatGPT, okay, now that you've learned this, write me a cinematic commercial explainer video. And this is the way I prompted it. We have a good film production budget with high-end cameras and drones. Make it fit for a national television commercial. Write it so it's a direct response ad that encourages users to visit the online store and purchase. Highlight any pain points the viewer might be experiencing with their boats and show how Tiny Boat Nation is the solution to these pain points. So ChatGPT then, next thing you know, it kicks out this beautiful explainer video that is going to be our ad that we can use and run on social media. So right off the bat, it says, a high aerial drone shot swooping over sparkling lake. And then it has the narrator. It kicks out the whole story. It says, this is the narrator in a deep, confident tone. We all share the same dream, freedom on the water. But let's be real, building your own boat isn't always smooth sailing. Like, this is a great script right off the bat. And I've done like 5 minutes of work to get this video explainer script that we can use. So the next thing, and I'm going to burn through this real quick, is I'm going to go into an AI generator, a voice generator called 11 Labs. And I want to take the entire script, the narrator script, and I plug it into 11 Labs, and that kicks out the entire voiceover script for me that I can use to create this video. And in this case, like, because of the way that I imagine it in my mind, I kind of imagine it like a Chevy truck commercial, like, these are the real working men of America kind of deal. So I stole this voice from Sam Elliott, who, if he's like an old Western, kind of guy here. And he's got this great voice, and that's the voice I wanted to use. So I basically ripped this off YouTube, plugged that into 11 Labs, and now I have Sam Elliott as my voiceover. Okay. So now that I have the AI kicked out the video script, and now the AI built me the entire voiceover, now what I do is I go over to iStock, and I just start grabbing these clips. Like, it's saying, okay, you're frustrated, you're in the hardware stores, you don't know, like, ChatGPT kicked out the entire script for me. So I just find every single visual shot that it tells me to do. And let me just show you, can I just show the final product for this AI video that I created?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
So just to recap, you're using ChatGPT, grabbing the script from there, plugging it into 11 Labs, then going over to Shutterstock, and then selecting all the images that it told you to grab. And then you just pop it in, you edit it all together, and then here's the outcome.
Right. And the key is that you use something like Vox Script to scrape the YouTube, which teaches ChatGPT everything you need to know. Okay. So the final script that we created, this is it. And this is with Sam Elliott's voice. I took some music from, Home Depot. They have this kind of like recognizable. I love taking things that are recognizable and running it on Meta. If you can get away with it, do it, because people like that kind of stuff. So here's the script that it kicked out.
We all share the same dream, freedom on the water. But let's be real. Building your own boat isn't always smooth sailing. You're drowning in tutorials, lost in hardware stores, and your dream boat remains just that, a dream. But what if you could skip all that hassle and go straight to the good part? At Tiny Boat Nation, we offer step-by-step video tutorials. Crystal clear, easy to follow, just how you want it. Tap into a community that speaks your language, sharing tips and tricks that actually work. Still think you need another trip to the hardware store? Think again. We've got everything you need in our online store, handpicked and tested by experts. Stuck on a problem? Our master builders have got your back. So why dream when you can build? It's time to turn the tides. Visit us online and make your dream a reality today. Tiny Boat Nation. Built, not bought. Your dream boat is just a click away.
And there you go. You've got a complete ad that's beautiful. It's got a good voiceover. It's got, stock footage is great. It looks gorgeous. And you've got a script that is a winning script as a direct response ad. And that took me probably all in 45 minutes to create an ad that's going to generate and does generate this company hundreds of thousands of dollars. So this is the power of using AI with your meta advertising, and you can build this stuff out for really inexpensive, and in about 45 minutes you can have winning ads on the platform. So don't think you have to be some amazing producer or have these big cinema cameras like you see behind me. You can do this on your computer in 45 minutes for like $60 all in, I would say.
That's amazing, Jacob. So if you guys are loving that, put a yes in the chat. Jacob's a master at that. We go into more detail in the Traffic Syndicate course. So now I'm going to go ahead and share my screen back again. We're going to bring out Peter Deli. Peter, are you there?
Yeah, so my process is focused a lot more on the copy that's going into your ad creative. And so my belief is that the prompts that you're using are super important, right? A lot of people think, oh, they're not getting good quality out of the AI, but it's all about the prompts that you put in. If you put the right instructions, you're going to get good quality output coming out of it. So what we did is we sat down with our copywriters and really thought about all the variables that go into a good ad. What's the tone of voice that you're using? Who's the spokesperson of the ad? All of those things. And then we put those variables into our prompts. And so our whole strategy revolves around just getting more ad variables out of it. We can, I think, click ahead a little bit, but the whole idea for me is getting 10 times more ad creative, and 10 times is kind of the low end. Really, we're looking for more than that, 100 times more ad creative. But even think at the low end, if you're testing 25% more ad creative than your competition, you're going to have a real competitive advantage there. So once we run the ads, we take that data into an AI BI tool, business intelligence tool. And so the tool that we use is called Accio. I really like Accio for a number of reasons, but it's really good for that data evaluation. And then what you do is you take it and you run it through the machine learning models in there. You find out what variables correlate to performance, and then you write 1,000 more variants of that ad. And then you take those 1,000 more variants of the ad and you drop it back into the machine learning model, and you get a predictive score for what's going to hit your KPI or your key performance indicator. When we run spend, we always have one main goal, and that's the KPI goal that we put into the machine learning model. And then with this next batch of ad, we got a score. We were testing without even putting any live spend to it, which is, for me, it's a big game changer. And then we go launch those variants into the campaign. And then rinse and repeat. You do the whole thing all over again when you have the data off of that batch of ads.
Yeah, so this is kind of a way to test your ads without even running ads or spending money, because you're asking the AI and the machine learning process to tell you how well the ad's going to perform, so you can go and just keep tweaking and testing until you find that one ad. And can you share some of the results? Like, just talk about like a couple of clients you've done this with, and the results right out of the gate.
Yeah.
How that's going? Yeah,
the first time we deployed it, it was 159% increase in ROAS in the first month. When I say ROAS, that's return on ad spend, essentially an ROI profitability calculation off of the spend. And then the second time we pulled it out, it was over 140% increase in ROAS in the first 30 days that we're using the process.
Yeah, and usually how long does it take to get to that point if you're not using the process, would you say?
Well, no, we worked on an account.
Months?
We worked on an account, Jesse, where the client never hit their KPI goals, right? He's managed spend. He had other agencies managing the spend. And then we used this model on that account, and we actually reached the client's profitability objectives for the very first time. And so, yeah, it could be a lifetime without this.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's get into ChatGTP 4. I know Jacob touched on it a little. So just kind of share your process for using it, how it works, just real quick.
Yeah, so we built out a whole prompt generator that we plug in here, and then we'll run prompts through for the specific outputs, and we're very specific about the outputs that we're looking for. Things are evolving. When we built out our process, it was a year ago, and so ChatGPT has evolved, and now there's custom GPTs that you can build out and put more context to it, but the fundamentals of it remain the same. And so, yeah, we'll run the prompt like this, and then we'll get the outputs. When we get the outputs, we ask for a lot. Like we're looking for 1,000 headlines. Sometimes not exactly 1,000 because it actually you got to take man hours to weed through that, but at least 100. And then we're looking for the top 5% of those variants, and then we just cherry pick the ones we like, and then we launch those in. We don't do a lot of editing with what we get out of it. I think we can go to the next one. Yeah, so Accio. Accio is a tool that we use to everyone's using AI for content generation, right? People are making videos and writing copy and getting these cool images and all of that stuff, but it has just as much power on the data side in terms of cutting down the time it takes to do data analysis, making reports, and then also the level of insights that you're getting out of that and just making some of these machine learning models more accessible. So Accio is a huge part of that process for us.
Thanks, Peter. That was awesome. So Peter is definitely a master at AI and understanding how to use it for your ads to optimize and test before you even go live with an ad. So, and he goes deep into this in the Traffic Syndicate courses and the group coaching. So now let's take what we just went over and fundamental law number 4, writing effective ad copy. So now this is the kind of a quick fundamental law because we did all the work already with the AI law. We went on ChatGTP. We got a whole bunch of different variants. Peter's talking about hundreds or thousands of different variants, putting them through a machine learning process with Accio and some of these other tools. And bam, now we got our best copy that we're going to use for our ad. And we're going to put it, copy and paste it in and, go live with the ad in just a second. But, ChatGTP, we put some prompts in, we did a little bit of legwork, but then it did most of the work to get us pretty close to a highly converting ad copy that we can just plug into the ad. So we'll just kind of leave it at that. Now we're going to move on to fundamental law number 5, creating compelling ad creatives. Now we're going to bring out Jacob here and he's going to show you some of the tools we're going to talk about. And I tried to make it as basic, beginner as possible. So everything on the left, like ChatGPT, iPhone, smartphone, Filmic Pro, Rode Boom, Ring Light, Canva, iMovie, that's kind of the beginner tools that you're going to use to create killer ad creatives. Now moving forward, like Canon, Sony, Red cameras, Red cameras like Super Pro. So anyway, Jacob, can you explain some of these tools, how you use them all together? And then we're going to talk about how to turn your iPhone into a cinema camera next.
Yeah. So I'm actually consulting with a film producer and giving him ideas of how he could put together this low ticket offer because he produces really cinematic films. I've hired him for some of my big budget films for the Olympic Games and stuff like that. Now not everybody's going to sign up for $100,000 production with him. So I'm trying to get him to learn the ways to have a low ticket offer so he can go out and turn his iPhone into a cinema camera and then run, $2,500 film productions, right? Like kind of run and gun kind of style. And so some of the stuff that we're going over is, taking your iPhone and putting the right apps on it and the right adaptable lenses and things like ND filters so that you can basically create gorgeous footage with what you have in your pocket. So some of the things that we go into to do this is one of the things that you need is to open up all the manual settings in your iPhone, to get access to things like the shutter and the aperture and, the frame rates, right? You can do all of this stuff. The phones have the capability of it, but you need a third-party app to open up all of that stuff, to unlock the features, right? So one of the things that we listed out here is called Filmic Pro. It's a great third-party smartphone app. You can get it for Android or for iPhone. Check that one out. It's going to allow you to open up those features so you can properly set up your phone to be a cinema camera. And what this does is if you rig it out right with the right lenses and the right, lighting and everything like that, there's certain principles in filmmaking that you can learn, like what is a frame rate versus a shutter speed, right? And if you get the frame rate ratio with the shutter speed, that's how a Red camera shoots. And you can't do that just by hitting auto on your iPhone. It looks like an iPhone. Okay. So if you can open up the manual capabilities with a third party app like Filmic Pro, you can learn, and this is what we go over in Traffic Syndicate is teaching you this stuff. You can really learn how to take what's in your pocket and make it look like, you know, a $50,000 camera, or at least comparable to the average eye. And then there's other things that you can do, like rigging it up with a boom mic or a lavalier mic, like something that clips to you. Audio is half the battle when it comes to good film production, and most people miss that point. And so they think it's all about the visuals, right? But if you can get the audio right, you've leveled up your game exponentially. So if you can get a lav mic on yourself or a clip mic, so it's really close to your face, you're going to get good audio. If you can trick out your phone, so you're opening up the manual settings, you're going to get beautiful visuals. And then you can do things even like getting like a cheap gimbal, like a stabilizer, right? You can go to Best Buy, or any kind of electronic store, and you can get a stabilizer for like $150, or you can go on Craigslist or eBay and get one of the older models for like $75. And that's going to allow you to get really good movement shots, right? So if you're a coach or a consultant and you want to get those kind of walk and talk shots, have somebody grab their iPhone, put it on a gimbal, and then, you know, put a lens on it and then adjust the lighting with what's called a neutral density filter. You can put all this stuff on an iPhone. And if you put all these things together with good lighting, you can absolutely have a cinematic film production or cinematic ad creatives with what you have in your pocket. So we dive more into that in the Traffic Syndicate courses, but that's just a kind of an overview of the capabilities you already have with you if you do it right.
Yeah, absolutely. So here's some of the tools. You guys take a screenshot of this. This is what we've been using to create these killer ad creatives. Now, you can do it on a very low budget with all the things on the left-hand side, and it could look something like this, right? And, you know, you have your ring lights, like $30, a Rode mic like that. How much is that, Jacob, would you say? And then you got your
like
iPhone.
$50.
With the stand.
You're down to $50.
Yeah. So and then you get your settings right with that app. I mean, you're at like $100, and now you're like making really quality ad creatives, you know, with a person talking in front of the camera, which a lot of people are doing, right? I mean, there's different ways to film it, and you wouldn't need all that stuff if you're just filming an ad of like B-roll and like some voiceover stuff and using Shutterstock, you know, images or whatever to create your ad. So yeah.
Right. And
awesome.
and there's certain principles of just, you know, depth and lighting, right? Like if I was slammed up against the background here, this wood background, I wouldn't have that 3D depth, right? So it wouldn't look as good. If I didn't have lighting on one side and less lighting on the other, and I wasn't, you know, kind of the forefront of this, and my light was wrong in the background, then it's not going to look as good. So it's when you combine all of these strategies and these tactics together, that's how you really, that's really how you stand out on a platform like Meta. And that's going to increase your conversions. That's going to basically make you more money on the platform when you get these principles right. Okay, so this part is all about just understanding that it's really about standing out on the platform. And one of the best ways to do that is use stunning visuals to stand out. So just like we were talking about with the iPhone, leveling up your game with a phone, with what you already have in your pocket, put those principles in place and you're going to stand out more on the platform. You're going to get better conversions. You're going to make more money with the platform, right? Same thing with, you know, these kind of ads right here. These were a lot of the ads that I would create while working at Facebook. There were a lot of motion graphic ads, and we would always use stunning visuals and come up with creative concepts. So this one right here, you know, back when I created this, they didn't have such strict rules around mocking up their UI. They're a little more tight on that now. But the whole idea was this was a top of funnel ad that we wanted to get as much attention as we possibly could by running an awareness ad, to then use that to then go and retarget people with more of a sales based ad. Now this ad absolutely blew up on the platform. It got so much engagement. It just popped. It stood out. When you see it on a phone, it really blends into the phone. So it feels like the spider and the blood is dripping over the phone. And everybody wants to share an ad like this. People want to talk about how they're mad because the spider scared them. People are, you know, whatever it is. The engagement goes through the roof. And when you get an ad like this and everybody's engaging with it, then you're not paying for all of that additional marketing. You're not paying ad spend to get that shared, right? We're tapping into organic marketing, and this ad goes viral and you're spending next to nothing on that ad. And overall, it didn't really cost me much to create an ad like this. You know, I grabbed a picture off of Shutterstock, which I have a subscription to. And then, you know, I had a little bit of design stuff to do to put the nails on there. And this, I think the blood was just it was just a drip over a green screen that I cut out and kind of put on there. And the spider was just, I grabbed that off of YouTube. You know, it was just a green screen spider walking on, just across a green screen. So I just keyed that out. So minimal design, right? And I could absolutely hire somebody on Fiverr to do this for me for like $50. All in, I would say this ad should cost you about no more than $70 to create. And this can generate you hundreds of thousands of dollars on the platform when done right. So this is just a look at like how you want to focus on ad creative. This is one that I did for United Airlines, and it's really basic. Just simple graphics right there. I actually built this out with a template that I grabbed off of Video Hive. These are all just a couple templates. I think I spent a total of maybe $60 on a few templates and just kind of smashed this stuff all together in After Effects. And you can absolutely create ads like this just by grabbing some templates and then hiring somebody on Fiverr if you have a good creative idea, right? Just a postcard. This is supposed to mock up an old postcard. I just grabbed all that stuff for like $20 on Video Hive, and then I created it myself, but I could absolutely hire somebody to do it for me. And the reason that this works is because it stands out on the platform. It really pops, right? So these kind of ads for United Airlines, I know this one in particular, it generated, well, comboed with another one that I could show you later. Comboed up, this one generated around $500,000 for their ad campaign that we ran over the course of 6 months. So these ads can absolutely crush it. And it's not going to make everyone $500,000 because you're not United Airlines, but you can make hundreds of thousands of dollars if you get this game right. So I just wanted to kind of go over like, these are the kind of ads that you need to be creating to stand out on the platform.
Yeah, a couple of things I want to jump in here. So the one thing that stands out that Jacob was, the word that he said was attention. Right? These ads get attention. So as you watch Jacob's ads and how they're cleverly put together, they're clever, they get attention, they're cool ideas. You guys can steal these ideas and do them for your business. We're going to show you like a really cool e-commerce one that you can do, or like opens up a box. So that's just something to think about. Attention. Just how do I grab people's attention in a creative way? And these are some really cool things that you guys can try to do. Now, Jacob, you said that ad generated like 500,000. Like how much did you spend on ads? Cause I know you always run a lot of budgets or ads that you have like really low budgets, and I'm shocked at the results. So
right? It's all about your return on ad spend. So our ads, like we're typically getting around, I think this one was around a 10x return on ad spend that we got. These ones absolutely crushed it. And we combined it with like a series of different ads too. We ran these stories based ads. These are newsfeed ads. When we comboed those up together, we just kept seeing the customer acquisition costs just drop, down to nothing. And then once we figure that out, we start scaling the ad campaigns, and that's how we're able to win on the platform.
Absolutely. So yeah, let's go ahead one slide and then show them that's a story ad, right? The next one.
Okay, perfect. So this is a story ad that we created. I built this one for a company called OpenTable, which is an online dinner reservation app, right? So you can go get reservations at whatever Olive Garden on a Friday night, and you just use OpenTable to book that, right? So OpenTable reached out and they wanted me to create these ads, and they didn't know how we were going to create them. And at the time, this was 2017. Stories was all the rage. They had just launched Stories in the platform. And when Meta launches something new in the platform, here's just a pro tip: go do what Meta just released, because they put multiple millions of dollars into developing that thing. So go play the game that they want you to play, because they're going to prioritize you in the ad auction if you're playing the game they want. And in this case, it was Stories. Now it's Reels. Now it even comes down to things like Advantage, Campaign Plus, Shopping, whatever it is. They put millions of dollars of dev into that thing within the ads manager too. Dynamic creative, whatever it is, go play the game that they're wanting you to play. So go always stay up on the latest trends, right? That's what you want to do with this. So in this case, Stories was the latest trend. And so when I worked with OpenTable, I said, okay, let's leverage Stories. And instead of just, putting an ad out there that, talks about OpenTable and how you can book reservations at your favorite restaurant, let's build it out so it's an interactive game. And let's make it so they have to play the game to find out where they're going to be dining next. But here's the kicker. We force where they're going to be dining next every single time. So we build out a rigged game. And okay, so they're looking at me like, okay, how are you going to possibly do this? And so I tell them, okay, well, the way Stories works, it's a series of 3 videos. Okay. And when you and we kind of lay this all out, there's, this is the user interface of Stories. Now there is if you tap on Stories, it pauses. If you tap over here, it goes forward. And if you tap here, it goes backwards, right? So it flips forward or it flips backwards, depending on where you're actually tapping. So there's interactivity built into stories, right? Up here, there is a clickable profile picture. Down here, if you swipe up, it's going to swipe up and take you to a landing page. So all of these things come together, and if you build out your stories right, you can have interactivity built into your ads, okay? So knowing how the UI and the UX actually works, we can build out ads that are gamified and rigged to land on wherever we want every single time. So that's exactly what we did. So this is, it's a series of 3 different it's a carousel. That's what they give you, 3 different ads that you can run. And the first one just says tap the game to start, right? So you get all these beautiful, cuisines right here. It stands out. It looks very visually appealing. And it says play the game, right? So when you play the game and you tap the screen, it's going to start flashing all these cuisines on the frame. Okay. And it's telling you to tap to choose where you're going to be dining next. Okay. So whenever you tap though, this is the trick of it. We mocked up that 3rd frame to look exactly like the last frame over in the 2nd story. The 3rd story in the sequence is rigged to land on wherever we want you to land on every single time. So we rigged it in this case to land on the burger. Okay. So for a split second, it lands on the burger, but you didn't see it flip. It just looks like you randomly landed on the burger. Okay. Cause when you tap, boom, it takes you to here and then it goes away and says, oh, congratulations. You landed on whatever, some high-end burger joint and good luck or, good for you. Now go ahead and book reservations at the burger joint. So they're going to feel like they landed on the burger, but really we rigged the game to show that burger to them to get them to book reservations at that burger, restaurant, right? And then when they swipe up, they go to the landing page of where we rigged the game to be. And we could do this for, Cheesecake Factory, for Olive Garden. We can make them land on wherever we want to do it. And the beauty of it is these are built out as retargeting campaigns. So we're only showing ads to people who are already looking at, Forbes Steakhouse or Ruth Chris or something like that, right? They already were looking at it. And then when they play the game, they land on Ruth Chris Steak and then they can go book reservations at that place, right? So we already have the data and we're retargeting them. So we're rigging the system to make them land where we want by building out these interactive ads. And these ads absolutely crush it. You're going to get so much engagement with it and you're going to get such high conversions that Facebook's going to love you. And then you're going to spend next to nothing because you're playing the game. And earlier we talked about the total value formula. You're rigging the total value formula in your favor so you could spend next to nothing to get conversions.
Yeah, absolutely. And Jacob, we'll keep moving forward, but the viewers out there, if you're selling like a course or you're selling like a real estate program or you're selling like, a e-commerce product or you're selling cars or you're selling, cream for your bald head, you could like do this for that business too, right?
Yeah, and that's what I love about that. That's a great point is these ads, I'm always into ads that don't cost much to make. I mean, that ad with, some Shutterstock stuff, I got a subscription, so I just download all that stuff. I think I spent about 4 hours creating that. All in, I think it's $20 ad can generate hundreds of thousands of dollars. And the best part is you can rinse and repeat that same idea, like you're saying, for another company, which is exactly what I did when I went and worked with United Airlines. And I said, instead of, they wanted to target Maui tickets, for a retargeting ad. So I said, okay, well, what if we say, you want to go figure out where you're vacation to next? We'll tap the game to play. And then instead of cuisines, you tap the game and all these destinations are popping up. Now, no matter when you tap, it's rigged to land on Maui every single time because we already knew you were looking at Maui. And then you swipe up and lo and behold, there's reservations with some discounted tickets to Maui in the wintertime. And that combined, that's how we made that, $500,000 ad campaign that we ran for them, by running these rigged ads, these interactive ads. And you can just rinse and repeat this if you're an agency owner, for client after client after client. And they're going to think you're some mad genius who just thought of this. Really, it's just a formula that you just rinse and repeat and it's proven to work. So, and we've got tons of different templates and ideas on how you can master this. And there's just so many things you could do when you start thinking on this level of advertising on Meta.
Yeah. Awesome. So Jacob, you want to keep going through your slides?
And so like I was saying, we've got, so many different ideas that you can use, to build out ad creatives like this. And we actually put together this, template, this creative ads template for you to get these ideas and start implementing this into your business. And this is going to help you kind of think outside the box on how you can, really stand out above all the competition and win the ad auction at the cheapest price points possible. So this is kind of this creative template that we put together. And these are just ads that we did for multiple companies where we're playing with the interactivity of the platform. platform, right? So on stories, you get this swipe up feature. And all we did was we mocked up what the actual, like this is what the landing page looks like. So I just took a screenshot of it and then made this silly little video here that's prompting you to swipe up and see what's under the box, right? And then just by that, when you scroll and you see an ad like that, our click-through rates are going to absolutely crush it. And these ads stand out and get conversions at like minimal price points. Same with this one. When you play with like these swipe up features and we're making these ads to be kind of native to how the platform works, people like interacting with ads like this. It's very much like native to how you already use the platform. So it's prompting you. It's just like it's attracting your thumb to engage with these kind of ads. And we've got all kinds of different ways that we can do this. Like one of the features of stories is they have this clickable profile button right here. And so when we run like campaigns or follow campaigns for Instagram, you actually don't want people to hit the learn more or the follow now because that takes you through additional steps. What you really want people to do is just click this button right here, right? So if you click that button, it's going to take you directly to the Instagram page and then you could like that page. Now that increases conversion rates significantly. And when you can increase conversion rates, your estimated action rates go through the roof, which allow you to win the ad auction at lower price points. Okay. So if you can direct people to this button right here, just a simple arrow saying tap right here, right? Your call to action is completely different. They're not going to go click learn more. They're going to go click that button that you're directing them to. And these are just different ideas on how you can learn how the platform actually works and build better creatives that get better engagement. You know, this is like one that we did for Tide. We actually used the scroll bar or the status. What is this? The progression bar up here to wipe the shirt clean. So the whole ad is this, like in the matter of, 5 seconds. And it goes with the status bar. I don't know if you could see that. This one's a little longer. But we use that status bar to go from before to after, right? So we go from bland to glam in the matter of 10 seconds. So these are just different creative ways that we train you how to think about advertising and how to really stand out so you can bid the least amount and maximize your investment on the platform. So this is how you win at meta advertising.
Guys, put in the chat, put a yes if you think that you can do some of these ideas, or you got at least one idea that you can go put it into action and create that ad for your business right now to test it, or you've gotten at least 5 ideas to this point from all the AI stuff with the ads, with the targeting. Put a yes in the chat if you guys think that you can do this to this point, or you can put questions in the chat as well. We'll get to those at the end. We're super pumped to really help you get this stuff set up. So why set up your retargeting pixels? So we want to understand, what is a pixel? That's a piece of code that you're going to place on your website that's going to track, it's going to track all the visitors that are hitting your website. But you can also place a pixel on your funnel to track all the pages and the progression that people are doing through the entire buying process. Now, how this works is, and Jacob, you can share more on this as well, but when people go and they watch your video, or they go to your website after, they watch your video ad, then they go to your website, and now they're going to bounce around the internet. They're going to go to like YouTube. They're going to go to Twitter, TikTok. They're going to go back to your website again. They're going to be in their email. You're going to be able to retarget people with ads, with ad placements of interested buyers that go down the progression and the entire, all the steps of your funnel. Whether they're going to your opt-in page, or they're opting in, going to the next page, or they're watching your video and they're clicking to go to the lead page, but they don't fill out the form, or they fill out the lead page and then you go to the next page. You want to make sure that you're tracking these people through the progression of the entire buying process, and you're able to convert you're putting an ad in front of them. You're able to convert at a higher level more consistently because you're following them along and you're putting the perfect ad at the right time. So this is part of revenue attribution, identity tracking, cross-channeling, and hitting them on different devices. So we'll just move right along. So when you go into Facebook ads, you're going to go to a place where it's set up a new pixel. You're going to copy that code. You can just click that green button there, and then you just copy that code and put it in the head tag of your website or in your funnel manager. And if you don't know how to do that, you can probably go to the resources section. If it's like a WordPress site, you can Google it, but you're just copying and pasting that code, sticking it in the head tag, saving that. And then you're going to go over to your website and you can go check and see if that pixel is installed correctly. So once your pixel is set up on your funnel, on your page, and you've checked that, Now we use a couple of reporting softwares. So Peter, are you there? Can you talk about Wicked Reports, how we use that for advanced people? If you're a beginner, we use something called Segmetrics. So this is the revenue attribution part and tracking your visitors to generate more sales and make more money within your funnel. So go ahead, Peter.
Yeah, especially for if any of you guys out there are entrepreneurs, you might think of revenue as like money in the bank. But for marketers, it's not quite that simple because different campaigns, maybe 5 different campaigns influence that $1 that came into your bank account, right? And so we use various tools for attributing out the value of that sale back to the various touch points that came in. What Jesse just showed you on the pixel, that is in itself revenue attribution, right? Facebook is trying to attribute out that sale towards sometimes it's multiple Facebook touch points that are driving that one sale. And so these are two tools that we use to really build it out. Segmetrics is not quite as sophisticated. It's a little bit cheaper. It's what we usually use at low spend volumes. And then when we scale up, we'll use these tools like Wicked Reports, which has a bit more. I think when you go in Segmetrics, there's first touch, there's last touch, and Wicked Reports, we have a lot more touch points that you could attribute revenue out of. But for these campaigns, really think about the AI automation that's come in on things, right? On Google, there's a lot more automation now than there was when I got started with Google Ads 11, 12 years ago, right? And so these automations really are powered by data. And so when we're sending back more data and better data into those touch points, you're going to have an advantage in these new automation systems we're competing in.
All right, moving right along to fundamental law number 7, optimizing for mobile. And this is super important because 90% of all your traffic is going to be coming to on a mobile device. They're going to be scrolling around on their phone. They're going to be on Facebook. They're going to see your ad. They're going to click on it. And you need to optimize your funnel landing page or wherever you're sending them for mobile. So if you're sending them to a lead form like this, you got to make sure that the form is above the fold, that they can see it. They can easily get to it. It gives them the steps. They can easily fill out the information. So make sure you're testing it and make sure it looks amazing for mobile and make sure that the conversions are lining up so you can take advantage of that traffic. So so you're going to have to make sure that you optimize your landing pages for all platforms, whether it's desktop or, all browsers, I should say, whether it's desktop or, on mobile devices like iPads and stuff like that, or a cell phone. So they all have different dimensions. So make sure you're testing it on all of those devices. And because 90% of all your traffic is going to be coming from a phone. So you want to make sure that you got that covered. All right. So moving right along, fundamental law number 8, set a realistic budget. A lot of my clients, they try to move too fast into ads when they're not exactly ready for it. So, or they're trying to spend too much money. So I always say your maximum that you should spend 10 to 20% of your monthly profit. That's it. So if you're profiting $1,000 a month in your business, after you pay yourself, after you pay your team, you should be spending $100 to $200 per month on ads. You shouldn't be spending $5,000 a month on ads if your monthly profit is $1,000. You're going to go out of business. You're going to say ads don't work. You're going to get discouraged and you're going to ultimately quit. And I don't want you guys to fail. So I want you to set the realistic budget to move forward. So 10 to 20% max of your profit. Again, after you pay yourself, pay your team, whatever's left over, your net profit, take 10 to 20% of that. That's your ad budget that you're going to either pay somebody to run ads or you're going to run ads yourself. And that's all you're going to pay for the month towards ads. Okay. That's as much as you're going to test. So you're going to set a daily budget of $5, $10 a day, or, hey, if you're profiting $10,000, now you can spend $1,000 to $2,000. You can spend a little bit more per day, like $20, $30, $40 per day. So this concept right here is super important. This is what Jacob always talks about. So Jacob, do you want to talk about this? Because I want to get into like budgeting and understanding like your marketing towards a cold audience is different than marketing towards a warm audience on Meta and is different than marketing to a hot audience. So can you talk about that a little bit?
So basically the way that Meta has it broken out is if you're going to go for different objectives, you need to understand that there's different price points per objective that you're targeting, right? So if you're going to go to a cold audience with an awareness-based campaign, you just want to get your brand out there, but you're not necessarily asking for a lead or a sale or anything like that. that's going to be an awareness campaign, which is going to be cheaper to run on Meta than, let's say, a sales-based campaign where you're actually asking them to become a lead, give you their email, or buy something, right? So knowing that there's different price points for these different phases is really important in how we structure our ad accounts and how we build out our creatives and how we just approach marketing in general on the platform. So one example is for United Airlines, with the last example I gave, we used a stories ad as a retargeting ad for a hot audience that we pixeled, and we already knew where they were looking and where they were at least interested in going, which was Maui, right? So what we did for that was, at first, we ran a traffic campaign, which is cheaper. We ran a traffic campaign as a more general ad that says, United Airlines book, around the world or something like that, right? That's kind of the postcard ad that I showed you. It's not actually saying where to go. It's just saying United Airlines, book now, right? And so then we pixeled where people are looking at. And then we launch a hot audience, to anybody who was looking at, this case, Maui, right? We're going to ask for a sales campaign, which is more expensive to run, but we're not wasting our time and our money advertising to a crowd that we don't know if they're interested in traveling to Maui. We use the hot sales-based campaign and spend more money to only target people that are already expressed interest in going to Maui. And we build out different ad creatives that are targeting them specifically. And those were the stories ads that were rigged to land on Maui every single time. So by combining this cold, warm, and hot audience with different objectives that we're asking for and at different price points, it's the best way to maximize your ad spend and get the most bang for your buck. So you're not spending money on the wrong people. You're only spending the most money on the hottest audience. And that's how Meta actually works. So there's a whole strategy behind it. That's, the strategy we use in a nutshell. That's what we did for United Airlines, but we dive into that in Traffic Syndicate and really train you on how to master this so you can win at Meta advertising at the cheapest price points possible.
Yeah, absolutely. And with Chris Crone, another way that we do it is he runs a lot of organic traffic. He's doing posts every single day, putting out 5-10 videos per day on all platforms, Meta, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. All of those platforms are running organic traffic. And then we're retargeting those people with different ads to go to his events, and then all the way down to like partners and like getting people into different custom audiences. So there's just different ways to really drill down into a perfect buyer, get the ad in front of those people. Don't overspend or run ads in ways where you're allocating the budget in the wrong way, or you're doing auction overlap, audience overlap. And you can really just follow these steps to create no fail ad campaigns. So setting a realistic test budget for cold. And I'm just going to put all these things up here so we can just go over this. So like ads, we tend to run, $5 a day. Like if you're just starting out with a test budget, you're going to be getting people just to like your page, the page that you're going to be running traffic from. So you can get social proof on there. So doing like quotes, images, different types of things that, hey, if you like this, you're going to get more of this from this page. Do some organic stuff on that page. Because if people are clicking on the page, or they're clicking on your ad, but then they're going to go check out the page, you don't want it to look like a ghost town. You want it to look credible. You want it to look like you got a lot going on. So you definitely want to get some followers. You want to get some engagement, and just get your brand in front of people, right? And get them engaging with your videos and some of the organic content that you're putting out. And then you can run awareness ads for really cheap, like $5 to $10 per day, where you're putting out some video testimonials, some informational videos with no call to action, just information about you and your company, or different stories that you can tell that are powerful. And you're not really driving them to buy anything. You're just letting them know who you are. And you're getting people to watch like 50 to 100% of your videos. And then you're going to be spending money on your conversion ads, which are going to be your most expensive ads that are going to be generating actual leads or actual sales. And you're driving them off of Meta onto your landing page and into your funnel with $25 or $200 per day. This is a good starting range when you're starting. It depends on your campaign, depends on your budget, depends on your business. Like I said, you want to spend 10 to 20% of your profit to be testing and running your ads. And then as you start getting success with your ads, you're break even, you're getting a 2x to 5x return on ad spend, then you can start ramping it up. So how much would you guys, Peter first, and then Jacob, how much would you guys spend on ads? Like once you start seeing that the ads are working, you start feeling comfortable, you're above break even, kind of doing this kind of system here that we've laid out. Then how do you ramp up the ad? How do you go to the next phase and like start spending more money comfortably without doing anything that you're going to?
So I started scaling campaigns a long time ago when you could be a lot more aggressive. And so I still am quite aggressive in how I scale. I think that you can go up pretty quickly, but then if you're coming back down, you can't keep going like that. And so like if I'm going up, I'm going up. But after that, if maybe there's ups and downs, I'm a little bit more responsible. But it kind of depends on the product and the funnel. I say that a lot, but whatever the AOV is on a product, that's going to dictate a lot of what I'm bidding, the prices or the budgets that I use on the account. But as a general rule of thumb, I'm increasing budgets about 25% if something's working.
Okay, awesome. Jacob, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm in that range. I would say, I mean, Facebook or Meta used to have this kind of 20% rule where if you increased past that, you're going to reset the learning phase, which you don't want to do. But they've since removed that, and we've tested it out, and it doesn't reset the learning phase. So yeah, we're around 25 to 30%. Once you hone in on which ad creatives and which ad sets are performing best, what we'll do a lot of times is we'll shut down the losers. We'll even shut down the lower performing ones. And then we'll combine those similar ad sets and we'll put all the budget into the winner and try and keep that around 20 to 25 to 30% increase over time. That's how we scale our ad campaigns up. And then when you find that winner, then you can start testing out other ones and see if you could beat that. So it's a never ending game with meta advertising to try and always beat what you have been doing.
Yeah, and you hit it right there. It's a game. It's fun. You guys should enjoy this process. As long as you're not overspending, you're within that 10 to 20% of your profit, because that's kind of like you're investing into the future. You stay within that, then you get success. You start ramping it up. So, all right, now we're gonna get into like the meat and potatoes of this, which is actually publishing your first ad. You guys excited? Put a yes in the chat if you're excited about that. I know I am. So. All right. So you get your primary text in there. You can have different variations that Facebook is going to, test out for you. Your headlines, you put some different headlines in there. Your descriptions into the ad. You're going to see how it's going to look on different platforms. Okay. Over here, you're going to kind of see how it's going to show up inside feeds, stories, reels. You're just going to kind of optimize it for all the stuff. Now, once you like it and you're like, okay, I set my budget. I like how the ad looks. I got my copy in there. I created a killer ad creative. I used all these tools that Jacob's talking about. You targeted the right people. You got everything set up inside of there, right? And you're like, man, I feel confident. Now I know how to budget. Now I know how to move forward. Now you're going to click the publish button. And this is the moment of truth, guys. This is where it gets exciting, right? Boom, the ad is live. That's my ad. It's live online, right? And we're going to get engagement. We're going to get comments, shares, likes. We're going to, start getting clicks and sales. And now I got this flywheel spinning of new customers coming in. And that's where it's just super, super exciting. All right. I know law number 9. I know we said it's going to shock you. And why we said that? Just plan on failing right out of the gate. Okay. If it's your first ad, but did you really fail? Okay. I know it's like you do something for the first time, you're probably going to fail. That's just how it is. But the people that know they're going to fail, and did you really fail? No, because you bought data. Now you have information. Now you have people that are coming to your landing page. Now you have potential people that could buy your product. You got your pixels set up right. So you're building up this audience of people that once you really start drilling down and figuring out, how to create a really good ad creative, and we're giving you the no fail version. But hey, look, when you first start, you're probably not going to break even right off the bat. Right. But with the right tools and the right team behind it, and, working with like Peter and Jacob and myself, being able to figure this out, you're going to be able to understand what the data is telling you. So what is the data actually telling you that you just bought? And determining that's the secret sauce of this whole thing. And that's what we've been explaining for the last hour with you right now. We've been explaining what this data is telling you, how it's working, how to like game the system, how to get ahead of the data. Moving forward, we're going to show you exactly, what the data is saying and then how to overcome that and move to the next phase. But we're here to help you figure this out. That's why we're doing this training right now. That's why we created the Traffic Syndicate. And here, I got to tell you that here's where most people stop. Now, I hope you didn't stop because you're only spending 10 to 20% of your profits on this. And hopefully we can get to break even pretty quick right out of the gate if you follow these steps to the T. But if you don't hit your goals or you're below break even, but the good thing is you're only spending 10 to 20% of your profits. So hopefully you didn't stop. Now, law number 10. Okay, I'm going to bring Peter out here again to explain this. So with the Chris Crone campaign, when we first started, we were getting leads for like a couple of $1,000s or even more. Now we're really starting to drill down into some things that are working. I know we're running traffic also on YouTube, Google, I think TikTok. Or Peter, can you explain what we're looking at here? Because I'm looking at it, I'm like, what the heck? What's all these numbers? How does it all work? So somebody that's a beginner that's trying to determine what's going on here and how to make solid decisions, what are they looking for?
Yeah, so this kind of goes into the last point, right? Like there are going to be ad variants that don't work. There are going to be audiences that don't work. So when we build out a campaign like this, we're introducing a lot of different variables. And what I'm looking for is kind of the binary right or wrong answer, right? This versus that, what's better? And I'm making a lot of those decisions. I use the averages. So you have all of these numbers in here, which the reach, like the number of people who are seeing your ad. There's a lot of variables. What I'm looking for are the variables that are most close to that KPI, like I mentioned before, right? If you're looking to make sales, probably you have some efficiency goal around sales, the cost per acquisition or the CPA of that sale, maybe the ROAS of that sale, the return on ad spend for the advertising dollars that you're spending. And so I'm looking at specifically those columns, like there's a cost per result column on here. What I'm doing is I'm looking at the average, things that are below that average, cost per result below is good. So I'm keeping those. Anything above that, I'm pausing. And so it's kind of those just two-way choices, and I'm stacking those a lot of times. A lot of times the organization is a big part of that. If you label the variables with the sum of the parts, then it will be pretty easy to come in here and see like, okay, ads that contain this landing page, those on average are doing better than these. And you can see that just by filtering the data. You can pop in a quick filter and see the total for it. And so even I'm doing this all the time, and that's the same way I go and look at it right now. Okay, I want to know this landing page quickly. I'll go filter the ads that contain that landing page and see an aggregated result for it. And there's going to be things that work. There are going to be things that don't work. And as long as you're making those decisions where you're pausing the bad and putting more money into the good, if you keep stacking those, even if it's 5%, right? Like if you're improving your click-through rate 5% and you're improving your conversion rate to a sale by 5% and you're improving all of those numbers, they really stack on each other for exponential increase in results.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing I want to point out, guys, because you could look at it and say, well, this ad set or this campaign is costing me $2,430 per lead, right? And you're like, well, that's the most expensive one on the sheet. And one of them's $29 per lead. Well, that $29 lead might have not converted to a sale. Like if you're selling a $35,000 thing and maybe those two leads that were $2,430, they actually converted to sales, right? Whereas the cheap ones didn't. You could get hundreds of cheap ones that don't convert. Can you talk a little bit about that too? Because you're not just tracking this thing like for leads per se. You're actually following up on the back. I mean, you're optimizing for leads for the sake of this campaign, but then you're also tracking like the ad and the lead where it came from all the way to the sale, and then tracing it all the way back to then make a decision on which ads or which ad sets or audiences to pause, right?
Yeah. So on this type of account, I'm evaluating the data two ways. There is the in the account data right here where I'm making decisions around that primary goal. So cost per lead on this case, right? In every ad group, I want to improve cost per lead, and I'm trying to just optimize the ad account in that direction. But then we make the allocation decisions, and the allocation decisions are based off of, okay, so this ad group drove 10 leads, and of those 5% of them were qualified. And so there's 50% qualified lead rate there. Maybe one drove 3 leads, but all 3 of them bought. And so you have this rate of sale there that's almost 100%, right? And so those are the numbers that influence the channels that I'm allocating money on, the campaigns, the ad sets that I'm allocating dollars on. But then within those ad sets and those campaigns, I'm making the decisions based off of the numbers that you see here. And I'm trying to drive those improvements in cost per lead and all of those steps.
Now, law number 11, using A/B testing. So now that we've gone through the whole process, now we're starting to analyze the data. We want to set up some A/B tests. Okay, we want to test against what we're already doing. So there's a button right here for A/B tests. You can just click on it. And then Jacob, are you there?
Yeah. So A/B testing is really critical when you want to obviously test how well a new ad will perform against an old ad, or a new audience performs against, one of your old audiences. So what's really great about A/B testing, and what I love about it, is if you're going to test out different ad creatives or audiences or messaging or whatever, you set it up as an A/B test. So Meta knows that it's not going to allow you to compete against yourself. So this goes back to what I was originally talking about earlier on, was ad auction overlap. If you test out small businesses as an audience versus entrepreneurs as an audience, if you just run those against each other, well, then you're competing against yourself in the ad auction, right? And you don't want to do that, because then you're driving your costs up you're driving your bid value up to win the ad auction. So instead of doing that, but you do want to test out how well small business does versus entrepreneurs, if you run it as an A/B test, you're telling Meta, hey, I want to keep these separate, so do not compete against myself in the ad auction. And now you can run 2 different ad campaigns against each other for, 14 days or 2 days. It doesn't matter. You want to give it enough data depending on how much you're spending. But once it gets enough data, you can figure out what the winning audience will be, or the winning creative will be, or the winning message will be, without competing against yourself in the ad auction. So it's a really powerful tool. And I love that Meta gives us this capability to do it this way. And that's one of the biggest things that we recommend when working with new clients, is you should really be doing your testing with A/B tests. So you can keep your score good in the formula, and you can continue to win without competing against yourself, driving your costs through the roof.
Absolutely. Well said. All right. Law number 12, the final law: adapt and optimize. Now, what I want to say, we've been talking about it this whole time. You're always testing new copy. You're always testing new ad creatives. You're always optimizing your offers. You're always optimizing your funnel. Let us help you do this. You're never done. It's like, Mark Zuckerberg said it in the social network movie for, Facebook. Now the big flagship movie for Facebook. Well, when is the website done, Mark? It's never done. The website's your business is never done. You're always optimizing your offers, your funnels, your creatives, your copy. It's a game. It's trying new things. Hopefully we've given you some creative ideas so you can take those things and run with them. We've given you a blueprint to do a no-fail ad campaign step by step. All right, Mike, back to you, my friend.
Well, first off, Jesse, Peter, Jacob, that was amazing. I'm seeing what people are saying in the chat. They're blown away by the detail that we went over. Obviously, we're catering to lots of different people. We wanted to keep it at one level, a 30,000 foot, for people that never did advertising, and also go into some details so that you guys can get your big boy and big girl pants on and see, okay, what is this stuff about tracking pixels and using AI? So when you work out, your muscles start to hurt. So if your brain's hurting just a little bit, that means that you're in the right place. So I want to thank Jesse, Jacob, and Peter for coming on and doing this incredible training. So now we're going to talk about what the Traffic Syndicate is. So I'm going to take off this headset. I'm going to put this headset on while I walk onto the other side of the set. Guys, I'll see you later. I'm going to head over to the other side of the set. All right, just tightening that up, and it looks like we're good. All right, I'm back here on the other half of our studio, and we're going to jump right back in. So let's recap what we've learned. So Jesse, Peter, and Jacob just went over the 12 fundamental laws of a no-fail ad campaign. You could see them here on the screen. I think they did a great job. The one I want to really highlight is number 9, the one with the red word on the slide that says plan to fail right when you start. The biggest mistake that people make when I ask, hey, how come you're not using any media buying, is they say they tried it and they failed because they didn't plan to fail. The purpose of running an ad the first time, especially when you're trying a new medium, is to see what works. So plan to fail, but you're really not planning to fail. You're buying data. What you're doing is you're saying to yourself, all right, let me see exactly what's working and what's not working, so you could throw out the bad, find what's actually working, but maybe just failed by a little bit, and then you could optimize that, turn that on, and then start scaling. All right, so let's talk about some people that have had success using the 12 fundamental laws of a no-fail ad campaign. This is Jason Stockstill. Jason has used it. He says, Diving into the wisdom of the 12 fundamental laws of a no-fail ad campaign changed everything for me. My pivotal moment came when a creative project caught Ryan Gosling's attention, proving the power of properly promoting your work. Jason is also one of the educators in some of the courses in the Traffic Syndicate. Next, we have Mark Ling. Mark says, what really accelerated my success was embracing paid traffic through platforms like Google Ads. Mark also was one of the interviews in the Traffic Syndicate case study interview series. Here we have Greg Todd. Greg used free traffic. He didn't use paid traffic. He liked to do all types of social media, especially using live platforms. Started out with Periscope, and he did Facebook Live and YouTube Live. Next, we see Wasim. Wasim, he's actually really strong with LinkedIn automation using free and paid strategies. He's another speaker in the Traffic Syndicate interview series. Jacob Bowe, you just learned from. He is just incredible. We're not going to go too much into him because you just saw he is a rock star and also an educator in the Traffic Syndicate. He has courses and will be doing content for us. Here's a real interesting character. I love this guy. His name is Rick Barker. He's from Rick Barker Music. He is Taylor Swift's former manager. I had the pleasure of doing an interview with him and captured it as part of the Traffic Syndicate interview series. He used different digital marketing strategies and brought it over to the music industry and for results like they've never seen before. And they started hiring him to be managers, and he actually started his own consulting company. Here you have a New York Times best-selling author, Sonia. She's from Inner Wisdom, Inc., and she says, this opened up a whole new dimension when she started working with the 12 fundamental laws, working with Jesse. She says, the thing that started to click, first of all, I didn't even understand what a funnel was. But diving into the world of digital marketing, especially through my collaboration with Jesse Dobeck, I learned not only about funnels, but realizing it was a perfect merging of creativity, his and mine, using the 12 fundamental laws that just completely blew it up for her. Peter Deli, you just heard from him. Peter is an educator, very analytical. And you can see that in the content that he gave today. He doesn't get on the exciting level. That's my job here. He is an educator, and I think that shined through today. And he applies the 12 fundamental laws in his business as well. All right. This was the first interview in the Traffic Syndicate interview series that we released. Hopefully you've watched it. Kevin Anson, he says here, leveraging the 12 fundamental laws changed our strategy. He goes on to talk about it there, but he also has an incredible course that we get access to inside of the Traffic Syndicate. He blew up and had all of the gurus talking about his courses. It's one of the best-selling recent courses, and you don't have to go and buy it if you're part of the Traffic Syndicate because it's included. Let's move on here, and I want to remind you that we only had, let me read this. Remember, this was just a small part of a much bigger plan, but I wanted to get you as much as possible in that 1+ hour of training that we had for you today. Each one of those 12 fundamental laws was an overview. We did a little deep dive into some of them, went into how we can use AI to help with the creatives, but we could easily do an entire training for an hour or even a day on just one fundamental law. In fact, we already did. It's completely blown up inside of the Traffic Syndicate courses, which we'll be getting to in just a minute. All right, so are you motivated? Do you think this is something that can work for you? If so, do me a favor. Let's keep the energy going. I see the chat right over here in a bigger monitor. Please put a yes in the chat if you are motivated. So let's keep going on a little bit more. I want to ask you, let's do a little bit of math. All right. What would it mean to you? Let me know in the chat. What would 10,000 visitors per day do for you? All right. Or if that converted to 3,000 leads per day, or what if you were doing 150 sales per day for a $100 product? That would give you $15,000 per day. And do I know those numbers? We live that in spades. In fact, many of the people that are educators in the Traffic Syndicate. In fact, most of the people that I rub elbows with in masterminds are somewhere just below or above this. Some just completely destroy it. 20 million, 50 million, 100 million a day. What I'm showing you here, these numbers, these types of numbers is a $5 million per year business. Now, I want you to truly imagine that. For a second, you think I'm just putting numbers on a slide. What I want you to know is that if you can't envision that your website could actually have 10,000 visitors per day or get you 3,000 opt-ins per day, or maybe even 1,000, or you could make 150 sales per day for a $100 product, or maybe 15 sales a day for a $1,000 product, or just one sale a day if you have a back-end product for $15,000. Well, if you do 15,000 a day, you got a $5 million a year business. This to me is very normal. I want to make sure that this is something that you see as real. I told you today at the very beginning that this was a transformative workshop web class that we were doing today. I wanted you to know that I've put together something that I feel people in the industry are missing, and we wanted to do something about it. So, do me a favor. Right now, we're going to start talking about the Traffic Syndicate, but only with your permission. Did we earn the right to spend a few minutes talking about what the Traffic Syndicate is and what it means for you and what it can do for you? So, if you liked the training and you felt it was awesome, type yes in the chat if we did an awesome job and you're excited to hear what the Traffic Syndicate is. Now, I can't move on. I can't go forward. I need to go over to the computer over here and see what you guys are saying. So either we're going to end the webinar web class right now, or we're going to see what you guys had to say if you're excited and you enjoyed the content. All right. So Emily says, yes, absolutely love the presentation. Eager to learn more about the Traffic Syndicate. Still waiting for some more to, here they are, starting to fly in now. Yes, the insights were valuable. Curious about the Traffic Syndicate, though, depending on the cost. Lucas, we understand that. Paris, Sophie from Paris, she says, here from Paris, yes, so excited to apply these strategies from Jacob and Jesse and Peter. Can't wait to hear more about the Traffic Syndicate. Charlotte says, yes, I'm hoping it's in my budget. Mia says, looking forward to the Traffic Syndicate. This has been exciting and insightful so far, and you guys are just blowing up the chat, but we want to keep the momentum going. So, with your permission, we're going to tell you about the Traffic Syndicate. So, you guys are excited. Let's do it. Woohoo! So, I'm going to ask you this. We asked this question before. It was more on a depressing note. We were asking you about what it's like to live with having bills and all these different things. Let's flip it around now. Imagine what life will be like now with no debt and no bills. Now, I'm not just going to read these bullets. I want you to put yourself, if you're in a place where you have debt and bills, and it's causing financial problems for you, it's creating relationship problems for you, it's creating motivational problems for you, it's getting in your mind. At a certain age, you're like, how come it hasn't clicked for me? I want you to close your eyes just for a minute and imagine with me, your bank account right now has money in it. And I want you to imagine with me for a minute that all of your credit card debts are zero and you have a credit score well over 700. Imagine that for a minute. Now put yourself in that frame of mind. Is there anything you can't do now? Is there anything that you can't do for your kids, your spouse, your parents, your family? Travel, your relationship. Imagine what that would be like. I want you to just close your eyes, take a deep breath. If you don't feel it, if you don't imagine it, if you don't envision it, your mind will work against you. This is something that I live, all of the syndicate, what we call the Traffic Syndicate experts, we all live this, and we want to bring that to you. And the way you get there is through lots of sales, tons of conversions, and imagine not just that, what evergreen, profitable, high-converting traffic would do for your business. All right? So first, before we tell you what the Traffic Syndicate is, in 2 more slides, I want to say this is not for everyone. This is not for negative-minded people. You have to be honest with yourself and get your head right first. If you're using the words like, I can't, I usually, it don't, but for me, but, it's not going to work for you. If you have the right mindset, all right, you have to have the right mindset. This is not for negative-minded people and people that don't want to put the work in to learn. I really appreciate everybody being here, but I'm telling you right now, this will only be for a select percent of the people. Unfortunately, 85% of you on here might not make it even to the end. 85% of you are going to say no, and that's okay. This is only for about 15% of the people on this web class. It takes the right mind. Hopefully that's you. If you think that's you, put a yes in the chat. Say, I have the right mindset. Now look, don't worry about the price yet. Don't even worry about that. You typing yes in the chat is not going to make you buy this or not buy it. You're just putting it out in the universe that you have the right mindset. So if you don't put a yes in the chat, what does that say, right? So change that. Put a yes in the chat that you have the right mindset for success, whether it's with or without the Traffic Syndicate. So who's this for? This is for people that want the life and financial freedom from digital marketing success. This is for people who want to work on their business and not in their business. When you become a member of the Traffic Syndicate, this is what you can expect. You have to commit to put in some time, little typo there, and a little bit of work to apply what you learn. We're going to need you to commit to at least 2 hours a day, just 2 days a week. All right? That's what you need to, the minimum commitment, 2 hours a day, 2 days a week. The more you put in, the better, because you can consume more. And we have a lot for you to consume, and we have a nice scheduled program for you to consume it. But like me, someone who's taking chess, I went from a 400 ELO to about an 1100 ELO in about a year and a half. And I see people that have gone from a 400 ELO to a 2000 ELO in 5 months. That's just a quality rating. And to me, I'm like, how did they do it? And I look back and I'm like, well, they put more work in. They're studying more openings. They're applying what they learn. You cannot just learn and not apply. Me, I'm an expert in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Yeah, right. In my mind. I can watch a UFC fight and I can call it just as good as Joe Rogan or John Anik. People say to me, Mike, how do you know so much about this? And the truth is, I've done about 8 hours of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I'm now just starting to take lessons. Learning is one thing. And then I get on the mat and everything I think I know about watching it is completely different from applying. So do me a favor, put in the chat that you're ready to transition from just learning about education and applying. Type in there, I'm ready to apply what I learned. Because that's going to be the difference in the Traffic Syndicate. We're going to need you to come in, work at your own pace, but you need to apply what you learn. You can't just read books on chess and never go out and play chess. You'll get destroyed. That's one of the keys to success here. So I want to talk to you now about why this is called the Traffic Syndicate. I want to talk to you about the name Syndicate, especially the Syndicate. This right here is 7 people out of the original and only Syndicate 16. I'm going to say it. Here's the truth. We basically invented this industry. Not for any particular reason other than the fact that the 16 of us worked together and we shared the information. Let's talk about who this is. This was me, of course, but on the left there you see Frank Kern, then me, Jeff Walker, creator of the product launch formula, Brendan Bouchard, who is just a legendary digital marketer who came in to the Syndicate late when Frank Kern saw him speaking at a Tony Robbins event. And Frank said to him, hey, Brendan, what are you doing? He goes, man, I got in a car accident, man, and I almost died, and I was stuck on a cliff in somewhere like Costa Rica or something. Car flipped over, thought he was going to die. He prayed to God if he could ever get out of this, he'd make something of his life. He wrote a book about it called Life's Golden Ticket. And he said to Frank, I want to sell this book. And Frank said, but what's your back end? When Frank asked the members in the Syndicate, we had to do a vote. It had to be unanimous, and we voted Brendan in. And he came into the Syndicate, and he learned about creating products, and he turned that into Total Product Blueprint. He learned about becoming an expert. He created Experts Academy. I'm going to give Brendan all the credit, but being part of the Syndicate group and having myself and Jeff Walker and Perry Belcher and Ryan Dice, Evan Pagan, John Reese, Frank Kern, all of these people mailing for him, it helped launch his career, as it did mine, and Jeff Walker's, and Frank Kern, and Ryan Dice. Evan Pagan was part of Double Your Dating. He was in the book, The Game by Neil Strauss under the name David D'Angelo. He was, that whole peacocking thing. But he was a member of the Syndicate. And we also had John Reese, Andy Jenkins, Yannick Silver, Jeff Johnson, Ed Dale, Trey Smith, Jeff Mulligan, Dean Jackson, and Jason Potash. We were a community of 16. Everything that worked in our business, we shared. Everything that didn't work in our business, we shared. If we put something online and we did a video like I'm doing right now and acted like it crushed it, we could secretly go and say, how did that really do? We introduced going from $47 and $97 products to $997, $1997, the product launches, back ends, live events, teaching, selling from stage. We invented this stuff collectively. And there were a lot of people, I'm not going to mention the names, that wanted to get into the Syndicate, but we needed to vote unanimously, and personalities sometimes. And it was nice that we kept this at 16 people. And I can tell you for 100% fact, all of these people are who they are and where they are today because of the Syndicate. Now, many of them would have been successful either way, but there's no doubt that this made us the biggest names. Why is Frank Kern the biggest name? He was in the Syndicate. Myself, Ryan Dice, Perry Belcher, Brendan Bouchard, Jeff Walker, Evan Pagan, John Reese. Those names are big because we were part of the Syndicate. So that name is so dear to me that I wanted to carry on that tradition. But there was a few things, we were good people, but it's not just a mastermind that is going to guarantee success. So I wanted to complete the puzzle piece for guaranteed success. There are a lot of people out there that do masterminds, and they're all great. And I'm part of like 5 or 6 of them. Joe Polish has Genius Network. I don't know what it goes for, maybe 30, 40,000 a year. Tony Robbins has his masterminds with Dean Graziosi. Russell Brunson has his masterminds. I have a mastermind that people pay $25,000 a year to be part of. I'm part of the Flight Club mastermind. I'm part of a mastermind over at WebinarCon. I think masterminds are the key to fostering relationships and getting information. I need to get out of the house a few times per year. Every time I do, it has a dramatic effect on my business. But you also need comprehensive education. Stephen Covey says it. Law number 7, 7 habits of highly effective people. Sharpen the saw. So you need to continue to learn, and that's why the Traffic Syndicate has comprehensive education. But who are you learning from? Number 3, experts. You need to be learning from experts' mentorship, right? This isn't a college education. That model, folks, is completely dead. The world has now seen millionaires and billionaires come out of entrepreneurship. These entrepreneurs love to teach what they do, and we've gathered many of them in the Traffic Syndicate. Who would you rather learn for? Let's think about it. A person that went to school to learn to become a teacher and actually went and taught and never did it. That's not who I want to learn from. That's the way it needed to be when you were doing law and accounting, right? They had to put us through a sausage factory to get us ready for a world. You either had the BOCES and the workshops to get you into great things like mechanics and different things like that, an electrician, or you had to get ready for the workforce, accounting. Those days are gone. Most of us are working from home. Forget the college education. Going in debt, student loans, people paying $25,000 a semester, minimum $50,000 per year. To learn from who and what ideologies? Not anymore. Expert mentorship needs to come from people that didn't decide to just be educators, didn't decide to just be gurus, actually are applying it in their own business, making $3, $5, $10 million and deciding to be part of something great and actually creating incredible content and sharing their secrets with you. On top of that, you need tools and resources. So we wanted to break down the funnels that we use for our campaigns. Jesse has Pixel Prodigy. With permission from some of his clients, we've got the ability to get those funnels broken down so you can import them into whatever platform that you want to use, Groove or ClickFunnels or High Level. We've got prompts and AI and all of these different things we're going to talk about in a minute. A vibrant community is important. Networking is important. And it needs to be all in one. It needs to be cohesive. You don't want to be buying your mastermind here and your courses here from different educators that aren't meant to gel. We wanted to put everything in one package. We wanted to create something where we could honestly say, this is the only thing that you'll ever need to buy, period. All right, stay tuned because the price is going to shock you. I promise you that. So introducing the Traffic Syndicate. These are the experts that you're going to be learning from in person at masterminds. If you can't attend, we'll talk about that with our virtual events, our on-demand. But they're also creating courses. And here we go. Let's talk about what makes the Traffic Syndicate experts different. Meet the Syndicate of Experts, the hub where elite digital marketing experts meet real-world mastery. Our Syndicate of Experts isn't just a team. As I said, they actually do this. So the first box in the top left says, real-world business owners. Each coach here isn't just teaching theory. They're living proof of success in their own online business world. They've built empires, and now they're here to guide you to do the same. Now, mentorship with a difference. This says, imagine learning not from mere instructors, but from legends who've changed the game. Our experts transformed the digital marketing landscape. We're going to move on here just a little bit to keep this moving. The Traffic Syndicate offers an array of experts, each specializing in different aspects of digital marketing and business growth. Not everybody here is a Facebook expert. We're getting experts in every single niche. They say jack of all trades, master of none. Nothing has been more true. I've never met somebody that is a master at getting every single type of traffic. Some are great at YouTube, some are great at LinkedIn, and some are great at Facebook. And for you, we're getting you the experts in these areas. All right? So who are you going to be learning from in the Traffic Syndicate? Well, there's me, and I specialize not in the media buying. I do that with my partner, Jesse, and Pixel Prodigy, and they buy my media for me. But I do I focus on the conversions and the funnels and the offers and the copywriting. I know how to create an offer. Like I said at the beginning of this presentation, I may not be the best, but I don't know anybody better. So I'm in the top class when it comes to that. So I'm going to be training that, and I have a big surprise for you. A big surprise coming for you real soon. Of course, we have Jesse Dobeck. You met him. Cherise, she's focused on making the experience in the Traffic Syndicate perfect for you. You have Edie Miranda. She specializes in Meta, TikTok. Jacob Bowe, you just met. Peter Deli, you met. Liz Germain focuses on organic YouTube. This isn't all paid. The Traffic Syndicate is all types of traffic. Hakon is an expert in Instagram. Vin focuses on back-end profits, email marketing. TR Garland focuses on moving people through your pipeline and maximizing those profits. It doesn't end there. You have Erin Cook. She's an expert in Meta, Facebook. When I say Meta, Facebook and Instagram advertising. Kevin Anson from Ads of Fire, who gave his course to us inside of the members area, one of the biggest courses to explode on the scene. Thousands of people have paid hundreds of dollars for this. It's included in the Traffic Syndicate. He's an expert in video ad conceptualization, scripting, and creation. Alex focuses on improving business through Facebook ads, YouTube ads, email marketing. The list goes on and on. You see Alex Jeffries, Jason Stogskill, Larry Bernet through strategic partnership. Honestly, too much for me to go through. Take a screenshot of the slide if you want to learn more, but don't worry, we'll be talking more about them in just a minute. So what is the Traffic Syndicate? Let's actually break down the meat and potatoes of what's included in the Traffic Syndicate. right away here, you're going to see it's not a mastermind only. There's nothing ever been like this. It's called the Traffic Syndicate. It includes a mastermind. So you can unlock your growth with our 5-day masterminds. It says here, merge learning with leisure. There's going to be 2 days of the Traffic Syndicate and then 2 days of my $25,000 mastermind, the collective mastermind. Now, people pay. We have over 50 people in that mastermind that have paid $50,000 to be in that mastermind. It runs on every February, every June, and every October. Runs on Friday and Saturday and does a Sunday fun day. That's a $25,000 mastermind. That will be included in the Traffic Syndicate. Now, if you think, wow, if that's $25,000, this needs to be more than $25,000. Well, you're right. You are right. The Traffic Syndicate is more than $25,000 in value, but you won't be paying that today. You are going to be getting the Collective Mastermind. You can see that at thecollectivemastermind.net, a $25,000 mastermind included in the Traffic Syndicate. It meets 3 times a year, February, June, and October. Friday, Saturday, and a Sunday fun day. On top of that, the Traffic Syndicate will meet at the same time 2 days prior on Wednesday and Thursday. So we will have the Traffic Syndicate Mastermind Wednesday and Thursday, the Collective Mastermind Friday and Saturday, and then we will all go for a Sunday fun day. That's a 5-day workshop retreat. If we go to the wide, right here inside of the $1 million Grooveplex studio and education center that we built just to run the masterminds for the Collective Mastermind and the Syndicate Mastermind. It's all done here. It's absolutely incredible. And if you can't make it, don't worry. You'll be able to attend virtually. And if you can't even attend virtually, we record everything in this quality so that you'll be able to watch it on demand. We're going to be using AI to transcribe and create notes. We're taking it to a level like you've never seen. This is one of the most exciting projects I've ever been part of. I'm a software developer, but I'm an entrepreneur that wants to give back. That's why I created the Marketer's Cruise. I love being around entrepreneurs, and we are creating something that I said is only for about 15% of you on this call. 85% of you are going to continue to do what you continue to do. But I'm going to touch upon this here. As you see here, all set in the studio here. This mastermind is a gateway rivaling what other people are giving you for $40,000, $50,000 masterminds. You're getting the Collective Mastermind included in here. That's a $25,000 mastermind. We spoke about the triannual gatherings, the venue, the Sunday fun day, and that you could attend from home with on Zoom. And you're put right here on the board with other people. You could raise your hand, ask people. The people in the room will work with you. It's absolutely a fantastic way for you to learn if you can't make it. We always recommend if you can, but we know there are some people that live all over the world and travel isn't always easy. All right. Here, what you're doing, you're seeing different workshops we've done here in the studio. On the bottom left is kind of like a shot that we see. Bottom left is a shot that we see here. This was an intimate workshop that we were doing in the Collective Mastermind up at the top. That shows, and by the way, these tables are just spread out all the way throughout the studio. We can fit up to 75 people here at a time. If we need to do more, we'll start doing them every 3 months instead of every 4 months or every 2 months. But you'll be able to attend 3 per year. We bring some of the best speakers to the Collective Mastermind and, of course, the Traffic Syndicate. This is intensive stuff. And there you go. So you can kind of see what happens here in the studio. Moving on here. What else do you get from masterminds? More than anything is the deal flow from networking. Every single thing that has come to bring me wealth and every good thing that has ever come in my business has come because of a connection that I made with somebody, and I never met them sitting in front of my computer. I'm sorry, it's just never happened. Every partner, every change, every aha moment, every eureka, every inciting event, every single thing has happened from somebody I met. And if I met them on a phone, it's because I met them through somebody that I met, through somebody that I met at a live event. these masterminds and the quality of the people that'll be in the Traffic Syndicate and the members already in the collective mastermind that you'll be able to work with and network with are going to just absolutely raise your business to a whole nother level. And we'll talk about it again in just a little bit, but there's also a community online where you can interact with those people. All right, so let's now talk about the education part. Mastering digital marketing with our extensive course library. There's over 225 modules already in the Traffic Syndicate, 12 courses already. Dynamic courses over all different types of ways for you to get traffic. Let's walk through them and take a look. Right here are some screenshots of some of the courses. Google Ads Mastery, Meta Hidden Insiders Essentials, YouTube Ads Mastery. This right here is to show you, this is Bobby Hicks, that the care that we put into these courses is not just these 3-minute modules where somebody's going and let me wait for my screen to load. These are thought out slides from people that are making millions in their business, most of them, and they're known as legends in the industry. They're sought out leaders. The way Brendan sought out Jesse and Jason and Peter and Kevin and Jacob. These are the educators. And we have a standard for the content that's created. And it's like, there's nothing like this with the most cutting edge stuff. So I wanted to show you a screenshot of one of the modules because I'm not going to go share my screen and go off on a tangent here, but I want to let you know that there's some quality in these. You're also going to get Facebook Crash Course. I suggest you start here with Bobby Hicks. I have Mike Filsame's advanced training. This is called the Funnels Masterclass by Mike Filsame. It's about 8 hours of training on funnels and conversion, but I have something even better coming I'm going to talk to you about. There's a 7 simple website conversion hacks course that you got. You also get the video ad formula. One of probably, I don't want to give any disrespect to anybody, including me. The one I'm most excited about, how about that? The video ad formula. This course blew up the internet. It's included in the Traffic Syndicate. Digital Sales Machine by Jesse. Meta Insider Essentials by Jacob Bowe. And you just saw him, man, he's a dynamo. We also have $1 Million Traffic Plan Webinar Experts, where you will see an interview with me and Brendan Bouchard, Russell Brunson, Jeff Walker, Jason Fladlin, Onyx Singal, Evan Pagan, Mike Koenigs, Alex Mondosian, Bill McIntosh, and about 8 other people, all legendary webinar experts on what makes a good converting webinar. I compile that information myself into doing my webinars. Next, you have the Customer Acquisition Mastery. And if we broke all of these down here, the Facebook Crash Course, I could go down every single one of these and basically read it. YouTube Ads Mastery, for instance, Master Elite YouTube Media Buying Strategies. Google Ads Mastery, that's learning Google Ads pay-per-click. But I think you get it when we say Facebook, etc., that these courses will have everything that you need. All right? So right now, there's 12 courses. Consider it a library. Go through what you want. And over 225 modules. Each module is about 10 minutes. And this is cut and edited, meant for the Traffic Syndicate. All right, moving on here. This is one of the ones I think I'm most excited about. It's called Unlock the Secrets of Funnel Conversion Mastery. Put that in quotes. Funnel Conversion Mastery with Mike Filsame. All right, so I'm going to read this, and then I'm going to break it down for you. All right? So dive into the world of high conversion funnels with me, with Funnel Conversion Mastery. What I'm going to be doing, folks, I'm so excited about this. I'm going to be writing my first book called Funnel Conversion Mastery. I'm going to be writing it into about 15 or 16 chapters I already have lined up. I'm going to be going back through some of my old works and getting rid of what's not working anymore, updating it. So we're going to have some elements of Launch Tree, my quadratic formula, even some stuff from Butterfly Marketing, stuff from my Funnels Masterclass. And I'm going to be writing a book That's probably going to be coming out in about a year and a half. Why? Because what I'm going to do, each month, I'm going to be releasing a chapter of that book as a report only for those of you in the Traffic Syndicate. But better yet, I'll be doing one training per month right here in the studio in this same context, turning that chapter into slides for a video course. So when I'm done, there'll be a course called Funnel Conversion Mastery, which will have 15 modules. That'll be actually 15 chapters with many modules. Each chapter is going to be about an hour's worth of content, maybe an hour and a half worth of content. And I'm going to be putting that out once per month over the next year and releasing a new chapter of that book every single month. That's my commitment. I'm so excited to take everything in my head. I've created presentations on the offer, evergreen webinars, all of these things. I'm going to create my magnum opus, and you're going to get that for free. This is something I could easily sell for $1,997. This is something I've always wanted to do. Obviously, there's a book component, and then there's a course component where I'm actually teaching the chapters of the book. Just like Jeff Walker has Product Launch Formula for $2,000, and he has a book for $25 based on the same, but nothing like actually hearing it from me. So here, I'm not going to go over all of these things, but as you can see here, it's going to be monthly. It's going to go beyond the book. We're going to go over everything from funnels, the 15 different types of funnels, upsells, downsells, cross-sells, sequences, order bumps, what makes a good offer, the hook, the frame, the story, everything that goes involved. I cannot wait to put this out, and that's going to be getting started probably in April. I'll start releasing the first chapter of that, April of this year, 2024. All right, so next, I'm really excited about this. We have a constantly growing library. So what that means is you could read the slide here or take a screenshot, but I'll just summarize it for you. We're not stopping here. As I said, we have 16 courses. I'm adding this 17th course. There's more stuff that we even have from Groove that we're going to package up and put in here. Maybe some of the things like my webinar control will be put in here. So this library is going to grow. We're looking to get it well over 25 by the end of this year, maybe even 30. And the way we're doing that is we're going to, number one, keep creating courses. But here's the exciting part. We have a lot of educators that we're reaching out to for their $300, $500, $1,000 or $2,000 course or whatever their price is, and asking them to put it into the Traffic Syndicate. We vet them. We make sure it's something we want for you. Here's the beautiful thing. Many of these people are so excited to put this behind this paywall for you because they want to be associated as a Traffic Syndicate expert. They want to wear that badge to say that they are a Traffic Syndicate expert, coach, faculty. One of the things is these people must be successful in their business. There's can't be somebody out there that created a LinkedIn course and it's 15 minutes of content. We're not going to do that to you. As we continue to grow, you're going to be getting some incredible content. So ongoing, these are the things. If it's traffic, it will have a home, and you will start seeing it either in live trainings or in courses. From SEO for local and on-page and off-page SEO. Obviously, leveraging everything from Meta like Facebook and Instagram. Advanced conversion techniques will come from me. YouTube, how to grow a channel, how to do YouTube ads. LinkedIn marketing, how to grow it socially, how to do advertising. TikTok, how to grow it, how to do advertising. TikTok shops, shorts. TikTok shops is exploding right now. Pinterest, Twitter, formerly Twitter, now X. That's organic. For paid, you'll also get Facebook, Instagram, Google ads, formerly known as Google AdWords. YouTube ads. Google marketing platform, that means that's the Google Display Network. Retargeting, Pinterest, TikTok, X, solo ads, LinkedIn. There will be nothing left out of the Traffic Syndicate. If it's traffic, it's part of the Traffic Syndicate. So moving on, this is incredible. I think it's very important that you have the ability twice a week to get on and listen live and ask questions to our experts. We haven't come up with the times yet. We'll be announcing them soon. They may change from week to week. It might be Tuesday and Friday one week, Monday and Thursday another week. There will be a schedule ahead of time. And if you can't make it, of course, it's recorded and it will be put inside of the membership area for you to come in and capture every training on demand. We'll probably run those through a GPT that takes notes and action steps and everything that will be accompanied with every single one of these sessions. So, as it says here, get ready to transform your digital marketing skills with our twice weekly live sessions. This is where beginners evolve into experts and experts become masters. And how do we do that? Well, we have 2 different sessions a week. You may not want to come to one. You may only want to come to the other, and vice versa. Or you might want to come to both. As you can see by the second bullet, we have one called On-Ramp. This is beginner friendly. This is the one that you want to come to if you're a beginner. Now, as you saw from Peter and Jacob, these guys can teach the experts, and they do. They're high-paid consultants for people like Grant Cardone and Dean Graziosi. They've worked, the people in the Traffic Syndicate have worked with Brendan Bouchard, Russell Brunson, myself, every gangster marketer brand out there, real world brands as well. So if you want some of that advanced stuff, we call that the fast lane. You're getting hands-on experience direct with industry experts. We're not putting team members and staff getting on there. These experts of the Traffic Syndicate that you saw on that slide are going to be coming on and giving you expert training. We might even bring some guests in every now and then. We're going to have a moderator in there, making sure they're not selling and putting anything on their slides. All right. So the Q&A sessions is one of the things that you should be excited about. You can, if you're ever stuck, you could get on, ask your question, and they'll break down everything for you as well. So the live is really important. All right. But on top of that, we give you tools. As I told you, we're going to be giving you funnels and AI GPTs and business intelligence systems. My conversion mastery course will be coming. We're going to be talking about copywriting with AI. Lots of tools and resources are going to be put into your hands. We used to call them prompts. Now they're GPTs. I created 3 GPTs to help me create this presentation. You'll be getting access to all of those as well. Now, here's a free bonus. You will be getting a membership into Groove.ai, which is currently $99 per month. And that is the personal use plan, and that will allow you to, you'll have to see Groove.ai, but it's basically meant for ChatGPT for marketers. It has a lot more integration, search, document editors, sharing, collaboration. It's a lot better, has some pre-made prompts with me. And of course, it has over 40 of my quality GPTs that will, what I refer to as Groove.ai apps. So you're going to get access to that. You'll have over 100 by the end of the year. I make at least 2 or 3 a week, and I'm just going to keep publishing them in there. Everything that you can imagine to run anything that you need is going to be in here. Sales copy, long form sales letters, VSLs. Remember, you're getting 8 of them just for sticking around to the end. But this tool, Groove.ai, is just exploding out there. We have over 3,000 users on the platform already. It's $99 a month. You'll get that free as a member of the Traffic Syndicate. So let's add it all up. What does all of this cost? What's the value of all of this? Well, let's see. The 5-day in-person mastermind, right? That right there is easily $25,000. Why? It includes the collective mastermind, which is $25,000. You can go over to the collective mastermind and buy it for $25,000. You don't need to because it's included here. Plus, you're getting the Traffic Syndicate mastermind, which will meet on Thursday, on Wednesday and Thursday. So this is a 5-day event. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday, fun day, where we do things like we go play top golf, or we go bowling, or just last time we did it, we went axe throwing. One time we had a massive karaoke party. One time we went to Miami Dolphins football game. You name it, it's a fun day meant for you to relax and networking. If the collective mastermind is $25,000, and now we're adding the Traffic Syndicate mastermind with 2 additional days, you know I could easily raise that more and say it's 2 masterminds in one, $50,000, but I'm leaving that at $25,000. Next, you have the 12 courses. All of the different courses that we just went over before and the ones that are going to be coming and my course that I'm going to be building with you, that right there would be $8,000. Look, I didn't even value the courses at $997. I put an average price somewhere around $750 for those courses. And that gives you an $8,000 value if you had to go out and buy all of these courses. And imagine we'll keep adding more and more. Of course, you're getting access to the Traffic Syndicate experts, right? There's never been anything like the Traffic Syndicate where along with Jesse Dobeck and Groove, are using our influence to create the Traffic Syndicate experts, a faculty of people that are giving their courses and then showing up and doing training twice a week for you. Access to that type of coaching, live coaching, easily worth $5,000. And speaking of the live coaching, 2 days per week coaching, the price that we put on that for you to get all of these benefits that you can show up twice a week. If we were only doing that, that would be spectacular. That's worth $5,000. Moving on, the tools and resources and the bonus for Groove.ai that you're getting, as you see right here, that bonus with all the resources and the tools is worth $5,000. And then we cannot sleep on the networking opportunities that you will have with our Facebook community that we're going to be highly engaged in, the coming to the live events 3 times per year, where you can network with people and all of the great benefits that come with that, the Sunday Fun Day, something you want to be a part of. Absolutely. I can see it right now. You're probably saying, oh my goodness, I hope this isn't $25,000. Maybe a couple of dollars shy of that. But stick around. I'm going to do something today that will absolutely surprise you. Put a number in your head, what you think this is worth, and put a number in your head and what you think you'll buy this at today. My job is to make it affordable and offer you an opportunity to get in, because this is the only thing you'll ever need in your business. I promise you it's going to make that much of a difference. So that you get that networking. What do we put a price on networking? $5,000 value? I'm not going to do that to stack this up to get this over $50,000. Networking is priceless. It is a byproduct of a mastermind, but it's worth putting on this slide. But I'm not going to put a price tag to it. So let's add it all up. That is a total value of $48,000. And I got to tell you, there are masterminds out there that cost $60,000 that don't include everything that you're getting just in the collective mastermind, let alone adding the syndicate mastermind to it. They don't offer courses. They don't offer fun days. They don't offer the live training twice a week. You just show up 3 times a year. Many of them don't even record it or stream it. So if you can't make it, you don't see it. In fact, today, because I had to be here, the Flight Club Mastermind just ended on Monday, but I needed to be here to prepare for this, so I couldn't go to Vegas for the Flight Club Mastermind. That's a $30,000 mastermind that I pay for. $10,000 each one for 3 times. I pay $30,000. I wasn't even able to go. Donna Fox was able to go on our team, but I couldn't go. And they didn't film it. It wasn't something that they could film so I could see. We film it, and of course, we put it on demand for you. So this, like I said, there's a lot of other things out there that you could spend $50,000 on these masterminds, and they're all great. I'm part of many of them. But you're not going to be paying $48,000 today. All right? You know that. Maybe half that price. Maybe. We'll see. Can I do better? Let's see. You know you're not going to be paying $48,000. You're not going to be paying $25,000. You're not going to be paying $20,000. You're not going to be paying $15,000. Today, what I'm going to do for you guys is I'm going to save you $38,000, and you can get access to the Traffic Syndicate for just $10,000. Now, I want you to ask yourself, what was that price you thought it would be worth, and what was that price that you would be willing to pay? $10,000 for a $25,000 mastermind, plus the Traffic Syndicate, the courses, is incredible. This is everything that you see here. The Traffic Syndicate gives you the mastermind, the courses, the coaching, the experts, the bonuses, and the networking. We cross all that out, and you're not going to pay that $48,000. It's just $10,000. But wait, I'm going to do something even more for you. On top of all of the bonuses that you just heard and everything that's included in the Traffic Syndicate, plus my bonus for the Collective Mastermind, the bonus for Groove.ai, here's what we're going to do. Today, and this price is for today only. If you're seeing this, this is guaranteed and guaranteed for the first 25 people only. We're not looking for thousands of people. This is a high-ticket mastermind, a $30,000 mastermind, easily a $25,000 mastermind that we're going to be selling for $10,000. That is the real price. I can promise you one thing. This is something that we're going to be setting up our ads. Who's going to do it? Jesse and the Pixel Prodigy. And we're going to be running ads to this. And we're going to be setting up with a funnel called an appointment funnel, a booking funnel. And our sales team are going to sell this for $10,000. This is our back end. The introductory for you, if you get started today, if you're hearing my voice, you could get started today as long as you are one of the first 25 people. This is guaranteed only for the first 25 people. We're going to take another $5,001 off. And the final price, this one you can mark it down right now, is just $4,999. Let's call it $5,000. So right now, you're going to see a link that you could go to get access to this. All right. And that link was showing up on your screen right now. And that is the trafficsyndicate.com/go. And that means you can get access. You're not going to pay $25,000 for the mastermind or the courses or the live coaching totaling up $48,000. You will get the mastermind. You will get all of the experts. You will get the courses. You will get the live training, the bonuses, Groove.ai, the networking, everything. All of the bonuses that you actually heard are all going to be included. And here's how it breaks down. Right now, you'll see it at the bottom of your screen, and also on the slide, it says the trafficsyndicate.com/go. If you rush over there and you're one of the first 25 people, you could get this with the pay in full option for just $4,999. Call it $5,000. If you have any questions, my team has been on standby answering all of your questions in the chat. If you have any questions, ask them now in the chat. So again, folks, you get everything in the Traffic Syndicate, the mastermind that meets 3 times here in my studio, here in Boca Raton, Florida, or you can attend virtually, the networking, the educators, the fun day, the courses, my new course coming soon, live training, additional courses, networking, all the bonuses, the Groove.ai software, the GPTs, funnels, all included for just one payment of $49.99. Now, I'm going to read this slide here. At the bottom, it says a PayPal credit option for U.S. residents only with approved credit. We're going to get to that in just a minute. But if you want to go with a 2-pay option, you can lock this in right now with our Easy Pay plan for just 2 payments of $2,750. One today and one in 30 days. And you get 1 full year of the Traffic Syndicate Mastermind plus the Collective Mastermind. The Collective Mastermind is only for this presentation. Once we go to the $10,000 price, the Collective Mastermind goes away and it will just be a 2-day mastermind. Just Wednesday, Thursday, and Traffic Syndicate. And those folks are going to have to leave and not get the Collective Mastermind. They won't get the Friday, Saturday Collective Mastermind or the Sunday Fun Day. You will get it. You're getting the 5-day retreat every February, every June, and every October. We're going to be announcing the June dates very, very soon. We may even have them. Ask in the chat if there's dates for June. If not, they will be announced shortly. Now, how about the 3-pay option? For some of you that want to get in, and we want to make it a little bit easier for you to get started today. Just 3 payments of $19.97. One today, one in 30 days, and one in 60 days. So you'll be paid in full in just 2 months. 60 days, you'll be in. But the thing is, no matter what option you take on this wall behind me, you will be in the Traffic Syndicate in minutes. You'll have access to the courses. The live trainings will be starting in the first week of March. You get 1 full year And here's the thing. As the traffic syndicate goes from $10,000 to $15,000 and eventually $25,000, you're grandfathered in. You lock this in today and you have grandfather pricing. You can re-up every year for $5,000. Now, what if you have a business partner? Well, I tell you what. Your business partner, you can give access with your login to the traffic syndicate, and they can get access to anything that's behind the wall in the membership. They can even attend the live streams. Will allow you to share with your partner or your spouse on the Zoom, and you could show up on the Zoom call. Now, if you want to attend the in-person live events, as you can see here, it says it's $1,000 partner guest option. So if anytime, now look, if you want to just come with your spouse and have her stay at the hotel and enjoy sunny Florida, she doesn't have to pay the other $1,000. But if you want your partner or spouse in here, at that time, you could let us know. You'll pay $1,000 and they can get a guest seat and participate in the mastermind without you having to pay an additional $5,000 for that person. And again, they do get access to everything behind the wall as your partner without having to pay. All right? At the bottom, you see it says PayPal credit option, U.S. residents only. So here, I'm very excited to let you know that you could get access to the traffic syndicate today for no money out of your pocket today. PayPal will give you the $5,000 and you don't have to pay any payments or any interest for 6 months. Now, if you don't make, you don't pay this off, there's terms, right? You know how these things work. They charge you back interest to day one, depending on your balance. So as it says here, please read the terms at checkout. Okay. But if you're a U.S. resident with good credit, you can use the PayPal option at checkout. And when you go to PayPal, you'll choose your source of funds. And you simply go away from your balance or a credit card or add credit card and click PayPal credit. They'll ask you for two things. They'll ask you for your social security number and your date of birth. They'll ask you to confirm your address. And in 15 seconds, boom, it says approved. Now, they may approve you for $2,000 or $800 or $12,000 or $7,000. They know the amount of the purchase at checkout, so they'll try to approve you for the full amount. And if you're approved, it's like going to the Apple store and getting Apple credit. You don't have to pay anything today. You could use PayPal credit. It pays us in full, and you get to pay it off over the next 6 months with no payments and no interest over the next 6 months. If you don't pay it off in 6 months, it becomes like a credit card, and you make minimum monthly payments on it. Let's see how that looks. So when you go to the checkout, make sure you're choosing the pay in full option at $49.99. PayPal credit will not work with anything with installments. So you have to choose if you're a U.S. resident. And when I say with approved credit, because you'll find out at PayPal. So option number one, you click where it says $4.99, then where it says number two, and switch off the credit card tab and click on PayPal, and then click the blue button that says pay with PayPal credit. When you get to PayPal, you're going to see, after you log in, you're going to see an option where you can use your PayPal balance. That's the default. Go down and select PayPal credit, and then a blue box will go over that, and then click Pay Now. Then PayPal will ask you for your Social Security if they don't have it, your date of birth, might ask you one or two questions, and they approve you, and you get your answer instantly if you have approved credit. Again, this is only for U.S. residents only, and you get no payments, no interest for 6 months, and you get instant access to the traffic syndicate. If you're in the U.S. and you have good credit, go ahead and do that option. You can always pay it off later. No payments, no interest. Why not, right? All right, so back to here. If you don't have PayPal and you want to get in, but you don't want to pay the $5,000 today, you got the two options. All three plans include everything. All three plans include everything. All right, so there's no concessions if you take one plan or the other. So it's $49.95 pay in full, 2 payments of $27.50, 3 payments of $19.97, or PayPal credit, U.S. residents, approved credits, no payments, no interest for the next 6 months. All 4 of those options, you will get instant access to the traffic syndicate. Let's talk about our guarantee. The traffic syndicate comes with a 14-day money-back guarantee. You're going to jump right on in. The mastermind doesn't come until June, so we're not going to be giving a 90-day or 60-day guarantee. As we said, This is for a certain type of person. 85% of you are not going to be joining. Probably half of you want to join, but are going to come up with, I'm going to use the word excuse. You're going to come up with the word objection. We can agree to disagree there, and that's okay. And 15% of you are in. You're maybe looking at this and saying, that's it, I'm in. I'm one of those people. We went through some slides that spoke about what life is like for people like me and the others in the Traffic Syndicate experts. What it's like to have traffic, what it's like to know how to make offers, how to have offers that convert. You can keep on doing what you're going to do. 85% of you will. We appreciate you coming here and doing that today. 15% of you are going to make the wise decision and be part of the best mastermind, coaching program, education program, networking program, tools, resources, and softwares programs that have ever been given at a value like has never been seen. Anybody that's shocked about this price doesn't understand how important masterminds are. Like I play 30 grand for Flight Club and War Room and Genius Network that are all these masterminds that people are part of. I'm giving you an opportunity today to get in for 3 payments of $19.97 or no payments today if you do PayPal credit. We're looking for serious people. If you get in, you had to talk to the spouse for any reason, no questions asked. It's a 14-day guarantee. This isn't an ebook where I'm going to give a 30-day money-back guarantee. Make the commitment today. Now, when it comes to this guarantee, I'm not asking you to make a full commitment to the Traffic Syndicate today. I'm telling you to make an informed decision today. Make a decision that you want to at least lock this in so you can guarantee the price. Then you have 14 days to talk to your spouse, come in, check out some of the courses, and let us know. Okay? So back here, these are your 3 price options. Again, we're going to just go back to that slide. You're seeing it here at the bottom and at the top. It says thetrafficsyndicate.com/go. That's where you go. Let's talk about the objections, right? I refer to them as excuses. Let's say, number 1, the cost. You say you don't have the money. You and I know for 99.99999% of you, that's just not true. For $5,000, I'm not here to offer you a $100,000 program on the phone, some salesperson telling you to take out loans and getting you to take out different loans for these things. This is $5,000. I know the cost of an education. Some of you are putting 2 or 3 of your kids to school. You deserve this. $25,000 a semester, $50,000 a year, getting loans for your kids, or you did it for yourself. Student loans, going into debt. Obviously, people go into debt for educations. It's which one do you want to do? You and I both know, God forbid, there was some tragic event or something that you had to go to the hospital tomorrow and they said to save your life, it's going to be $5,000. We can all come up with $5,000. We know that. So the cost is not an objection. It's an excuse. And I understand some of you have to decide, hey, that $5,000, that is accounted for. I understand that. You're going to have to make your decision and find out how you can split that up with PayPal credit or just pay $19.97 today. But again, that's for you to decide. You can find the means to do that. That money is always available if you have to. You'll have to talk it over with your spouse maybe. Absolutely. That's why you can buy it today and we give you a 14-day money-back guarantee. If they're not there next to you, you make them watch this webinar. And then this web class replay that we're going to be posting later today at thetrafficsyndicate.com. And they can help you make that decision. But you need to get in. Let's talk about time. Biggest question, objection, excuse that we get is I don't have the time. Look, I'm not buying it. You had the time to watch this webinar today. We're over the 2-hour mark. You make time for the things in your life that are important to you. If you made time for this, you'll make time for something you invest $5,000 in. Let's all be honest. We make a lot of time for a lot of things that are just mind-numbing. We have television series we're watching. I do it as well, but I'm asking you for minimum of 2 hours a day, twice a week. This investment is worth it. And traveling to this mastermind, and if you can't make it to the mastermind in February, June, or I should say June, October, and February of next year, no worries. Or whenever you're seeing this, the next 3 masterminds, you could always attend them virtually. But you put time into things that are important. That's up for you. The product. I think we've shown you the experts in the Traffic Syndicate, in the Traffic Syndicate case study expert interview series, the accomplishments that I've done consulting for people like Tony Robbins, and I rarely do consulting, launching more $1 million brands, $25 million launches, more than any other digital marketer in history. My ability to create software, scale companies, create offers, and all the traffic experts in here. Do we really have an objection about the product? Do we really? A mastermind that you'll be meeting in person for 5 days, 3 times a year. No objections there. And then finally, as we were saying before about taking action, I can be an expert at Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu because I watch it. As soon as I get on the mat, I'm not. I can watch all the chess videos and read all the chess books until I actually go online to chess.com and I start playing other people. I can't apply what I've learned. It's time for you to take action. And that time is now. My friends, I'm looking at you. I'm going to look at this camera right here. Stare right in the camera. We've spoken. I had you close your eyes. Imagine what life can be like. This is a tough decision. You got here. At the beginning, say, I had no intention of spending $5,000 today. You're going to rip that Band-Aid off. It's going to be the best feeling you've ever had in your life. We're going to transform you. That's why I told you at the beginning, shut down Skype, everything. We came here to transform you today. I believe this is one of the most important messages, a butterfly effect, a bifurcation in the universe. You're going to make a decision right now. Many have already done it. They decided not to register. They registered and didn't show up. They registered, they showed up, they left early. They registered, they showed up, they watched this, and they're not going to buy. But I'm talking to you right now. Back to this camera. This is your decision. You can come up with objections or excuses about the cost, the time, the product, the action. For the 3% of you that truly do not have the money right now, that are destitute, I want you to understand, I'm not beating you up. I get it. You don't have the money. I don't want anybody to feel that there was any shame here. The amount of money we have in our bank account is like the weather on a particular day. It goes up and down. We will never judge anybody for that. But that $19.97 to get started today, to get into the Traffic Syndicate, and then 2 more payments, 30 days apart, that's your option. Take the PayPal credit option if you're in the US. Have PayPal pay it for you. You have 6 months to pay it with no payments and no interest. All right? So there you go. thetrafficsyndicate.com/go. Go to that website right now. My team has been answering all of your questions in the chat. That's everything that you need to know. I look forward to seeing you as part of a member of the Traffic Syndicate. Please make sure to click the link below, thetrafficsyndicate.com/go. There'll be an FAQ on the page and more information. We're going to leave the webinar running right now for a few minutes with the slides so that my team can continue to answer your questions. Now, I promised you a free gift. Many of you are typing in the chat. I see it blowing up. What about the free gift? You're forgetting the free gift. No. I said it would happen at the end of the Q&A. All the questions are being done by my staff. The Q&A I was referring to is the questions about your time, the money, the product, and will you take action? And I know you will when you buy this today. 3 payments of $19.97. To get your free gift, just go to tinyurl.com/free-syndicate. tinyurl.com/free-syndicate. I'm going to give you 10 seconds to get a screenshot of that, but you really shouldn't be able to forget it. It's the free 8 GPT bonuses I gave you. tinyurl.com/free Syndicate. And folks, this is our final slide here that I'm going to leave you on. I want to thank you very much. Make sure you go to the trafficsyndicate.com. Remember, the collective mastermind will not be a bonus that stays forever. If you get started today, I grandfather you in at $5,000 if you ever want to re-up again. You could bring a guest to any of the workshops for just $1,000. They're every February, June, and October. The next mastermind will be in June. Ask my team now for the dates, or we'll be publishing them very, very soon. That's everything that you need to know. I'm looking forward to seeing you inside of the Traffic Syndicate. Thank you.